You're already
One.
lying. Already lying.
I mean, you really think I'd stick up for Carl after he fucking betrayed us like that? I mean, come on.
150%.
Wait. How did Carl betray anybody? I just want to.
After Amrook betrayed us. Sorry.
When did Amrook betray? Amrook never betrayed. That you guys know of.
Yeah, exactly. That we know of.
So you just turn him in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for safe measures, you know.
That's it, just to be safe. You don't know where it's going to go.
Actually,
Turn them in and
I mean, you turn
If we-
me in.
if we-
I'm taking Grizz with me.
you
Actually-
can take them.
we go back to the doppelganger, find the doppelganger.
I think we killed the
And-
doppelganger.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, doppelganger dead as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we came across him, he's dead.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Chaos Chamber. Phandalin 5, Episode 14, Campaign 1.
Campaign 5.
I mean, let's be honest. Is it ever going to actually be a different campaign? You know?
I mean, we have Campaign 2.
That's okay. That's fair. I'm thinking like this is the first volume in the story kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean...
True. Although technically you're in the second volume of the story if you... I guess it's a continuation, depending on what story you're telling.
Same characters, though, you know?
You're right.
Same, but different.
Yeah. You know. Entirely different, but close enough.
But the same. Right? Yeah.
At the same time, it's the same.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. But it's entirely different. Yeah.
Yeah, same, but different.
Right. Maybe.
Exactly the same?
Like to a T the same or similar?
Like a
Not
doppelganger.
that similar.
Like a doppelganger. Where
Yeah,
it's
like-
different, but it looks the same. I got you.
Yeah.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I think it's Pan dilemma.
And
Pam with two M.
D. No, there's no D.
Is
It's,
it Pam
it's like
with-
calm.
Calm.
Evan, I really like your shiplap behind you.
Do you?
God damn it.
Is it?
Miserable.
Alright. You good, G?
Good.
Oh,
Going to recap screen in 3. We're already there.
Oh, I
All
was
right, Reek. He's still learning a little bit. It's a little short, a little long. Bounces out in the end. Last session picked up with the adventures. You guys were mid-battle. As you were questioning the Weevil, caught sight out of the corner of your eye. A thug-like gentleman jumped out of the shadows, told you to hold your weapons. Griswold, not accepting his ultimatum exactly at the moment, decides not to listen and pulls out a great axe and tosses it to Amrook, hence initiating battle. Some battle went back and forth. The previous session we ended. As of last session, we pick up with Griswold's turn, Frank having been killed. Griswold coming back, striking, not quite killing because he failed to apply Hunter's Mark, but that's okay. So left the thug to his right, just barely standing. A few battles back and forth when suddenly the guards came running around the corner. You see two guards come from the lower side that you would walk past. These are the two that you lied to get into the keep. A couple from the other side of the keep as well begin running over, telling you to drop your weapons. As they do so, the thugs that had jumped out of the shadows turn and begin running. Griswold taking his opportunity attack, not hesitating, planting his Morningstar directly in the back, killing the thug on his way out. Hence prompting the guards to a greater defensive position. They continue to tell you to drop your weapons. More guards appearing up on the wall as the fight continued. The balance of the thugs and bandits attempting to flee, some successfully, some not so much. The mages that were never spotted up in the far corner disappear. You saw nothing from them, and they went off. One more shot from down below with Adrin inside of the stables themselves before that bandit fleed as well. So while the rest of you managed to get caught, drop your weapons, and lower your weapons. Let's put it that way. No one actually dropped it. with Amrook hiding up in the corner, was called back slowly. Reed and Althea ducked behind the shadows and fully disappeared inside the stables. The Weevil continued to be maintained tied up inside the stables, and Adrian went running after the bandit that escaped, not letting him go through the hallways of the upper keep, unbeknownst to the rest of you. At which point you told your story to the guards. They wanted to call in Heldor to see to sort this whole thing out, as Amrook was running down the hallway, suddenly attempted to be grappled by an unknown source, at which point he became initiated in battle. So while Heldor comes out and begins talking to the group, doing some light questioning to understand exactly what was going on, Adrian fighting for his life in the upper corner against some unknown assailants, two of which managed to appear. As he began fleeing back down the hallway just in time, Reed, hearing some commotion up in the distance, calls Althea. Both of them follow, manage to track down Adrian right as he's on his way back, throw a few arrows out there, enough to push back the attackers, and all three were able to successfully escape and come down. However, as they then blew out the side entrance while this questioning was going on, Adrian basically rounded up the crew and said, "Let's get the hell out of here." At which point the spell started flying. The growth came up in the center of the courtyard within this keep. Suggestion was cast, and all of a sudden it was utter chaos. Guards were preparing their weapons. You guys began taking off out of there, pulling the Weevil along with you. Starting to have some issues as you made it out of there. Luckily, no one took any damage. You guys flee down past the gate. There was a few spells cast towards the gates as the large. What did you guys call them? I called them just large crossbows, but you had a name for them, Rusty. And
Ballistas.
Yeah.
there it is. As they were slowly rotating over to take the group while the portcullis was shutting, most of you managed to get out just in time. However, Frank struggling to pull Griswold along, at which point Adrian reached back, cast Reduce, shrinking Griswold to a small size, easing the load, at which point he was able to just get outside of the portcullis in time, and you guys broke from the keep, shot down the small path to the T where you had once entered, and while you had came from the south, which was a right, you then turned to the north, which was a left, and that is where we ended. As you prepared to flee to the north, the keep still in sight, a few hundred yards behind you, chaos ensuing, guards wrapped up in vines and other foliage, and that's where we'll start. So, with that said, we're off the map right now, so we've got nothing there. You guys are still in full swing, moving fast, running to the north. What do you want to do? It's about 5:30 in the morning, so it is still fairly dark out. You can start to see the horizon lighting up a little bit to the east, but not much, not enough to throw a tremendous amount of light on it. You guys are on the trail and heading to the north. I'll switch everybody to the map just so we have it. One that wants to reference. You should be seeing that shortly.
Yep.
All right, map is up.
Great.
So we are. Yeah, right out there, right?
We're headed
Yep.
towards the long road, or we're already on the long road?
You are now on the long road. So there's about a 200-yard gap between here and the long road. So this map isn't quite. I mean, it looks like it's more than it actually is. But this was the keep was actually meant to keep an eye on over the long road as well. So you guys have hit the long road and then turn to the north. Not gone anywhere yet. Just turn there. So right now you have the Xanthar's Keep to your left with the crags behind it, and then you've got the Lurkwood Forest immediately on your right.
I would say if we're gonna head up to Mirabar, let's just keep going to Mirabar. Might as well. We've already got our rest in, right?
Yeah, you did get a rest in. You just woke up a few hours earlier. You slept from about 6 to 2, 7 to 4 sort of, or 7 to 3 sort of thing. So you guys have a super early morning.
Yeah.
I think we should make our way off the path. Most of us have probably expended quite a few spell slots, and if we come across some issues in Mirabar, we might not be able to make it out. Plus, I don't know. I don't think making it up there on fumes is a good idea.
How far of a ride is it to Miramar? Can we get there in one day?
It is a full day's ride. It's you're making it about 48 miles a day with a full ride, and it's about 50-ish. So I give it to you in one ride. The crow flies, it's shorter. It's exactly 48. By going out of your way, by going out of your way, it's even further. I think about it. You figure
It's a lot.
25.
Yeah,
That's 50
It's
miles.
about 62.
35, 62. Yeah, so it's a day and a quarter's ride following the path.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there were acts of Mirabar in there. You don't think word will get out and they will be on this road rather quickly?
Amrook, you being familiar with the Mirabar army and a decent level as well, you recall one fact that particularly nags at you right now. You do recall hearing through the stories at the time that because Xanthar's Keep was meant to be a first watch over Mirabar, that supposedly there was a ascending stone connecting both Xanthar's Keep and Mirabar, the Mancheon specifically, directly to the Watcher of the Keep, to alert to any parties both ways. So it is possible word could reach there very quickly.
And the Watcher of the Keep was the guy that we interacted with, correct?
You believe it to be, yeah, Heldor.
Okay.
Perhaps we should go off trail for this one, boys.
Yeah.
Girl.
I'll
I don't
go ahead and tell the group that and tell them Mirabar may not be an option right now. Till we clear our names.
Well,
Siddle.
so what if we what if oh my god. Griswold. Don't you have connections with your little ring?
Siddle, yeah, Adrian, that's right. Siddle, is there any way that you could send a message? I think if, with the Lord's Alliance, if we could contact Sildar, maybe he could help us out in this situation and help clear our names, because he was of a slightly higher rank, for sure. He might be able to do something. I don't know anyone in Mirabar that would be able to benefit, but Sildar might.
You reckon your ring will clear this mess up for us?
I think we need some backup for this. The Lord's Alliance ring may get us. If they've already contacted Mirabar, I don't think the Lord's Alliance ring alone will help us. But if we can have Sildar on our side to maybe communicate with people, it might help.
Maybe we should get off the road for a bit then, while we figure things out. Sounds like
Yes.
we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Should we go into Lurkwood?
Garrett, do I know anything about the Lurkwood?
I was just gonna ask the
Go
same
ahead and
thing.
give me. Yeah, actually, so both of you would. Go ahead and give me a nature check. Just give me a nature check for right now.
Didn't we
It goes
talk
on
about
oddball here, but
Lurkwood?
you guys have some history.
A NPC mentioned Lurkwood and there being something in Lurkwood, like some sort of ghost or something. I feel like we did. Maybe I'm just making that up.
That one I don't remember.
You
Yeah,
might be
I don't
making
remember it
up.
either.
All right.
Not necessarily that I wasn't just riffing, but I don't recall it at this particular moment.
Did you say nature check?
Yeah, give me a nature check just for what you recall about that in particular. All right, come back to it. I'm giving you just kind of your memory for what you can actually recall. The question was how much you can retain based on the history of Lurkwood in itself in the woods. Yeah, so Amrook, you particularly know Lurkwood for as a dangerous area while it was very plentiful, being an old wood, particularly with for various hunting, fishing, trapping. It was also extremely dangerous. You heard many stories about the Uthgard barbarians that roamed Lurkwood itself. Adrian, you recall much more about it being more intimate. So you know that some areas are particularly safe. particularly the northern area up towards the spine of the world was safer. It was very well traveled in a lot of ways by hunters, fishers, trappers. It was actually the epitome of nature. Beautiful area. Actually, a lot of druids made their way through there at various points. The southern side, however, was extremely overrun with Utgard barbarians, which were dangerous, particularly the Black Raven tribe and the Thunder Beast tribe. You also know that, like most woods in the area, it is pretty filled with goblinoids, wolves, dire wolves at various levels, primarily that hunt at night. But not too different than anything else. The usual dangers that would occur.
Well,
I'll
we
take
could
those dangers
probably
over the Axe of Mirabar.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably go just in the tree line and, kind of camp out there for the day or so.
What about right on the other side, the crags? Is that anything?
Yeah, do we know anything about?
The crags are a series of rolling hills. I mean, just by visual, what you're looking at them, call them lead ups to the spine of the world in the mountains. So these are almost the foothills. But as you're looking, these rolling hills that are fairly devoid of most light that you can see. And a few trees scattered here and there, some small forests, but mostly it's wide open plains. You can see that you can't see too far inside of them because these rolling hills and seems to jut in various directions, creating into caves and caverns and individual crevices throughout them. So similar to like little mountaineering paths. So yeah, you can get lost pretty easily in the crags as well. So both kind of fade out in various directions. Besides that, any other information about the crags that I could give you worthwhile?
I'm wondering if we'd be better off taking our chances with going through the crags so we could make it up to was that Blackford Road and heading over to Luskin.
Yeah, so just I'll go ahead and give you the similar history and nature checks on that side of it as well. So those hills are strewn with abandoned mines, as mentioned. They've also been infested with the same goblinoids, hobgoblinoids, bugbears that you come to be used to. Utgard barbarians do not typically live there. However, they do prey there often for hunting wild game and typically setting up traps throughout the long road for caravans that come through. Other than that, it's fairly devoid of life from your recollection.
Well, either way, I think we just got to make a decision. If we know that Lurkwood is going to be 50-50 and the Crags is really not devoid of all life, I would say we head over to the Crags. My opinion.
I might disagree.
Are you guys still
If we're
riding?
caught in between the hills, we're caught right in a pinch spot, and we have no way out. At least in the Lurkwood, we have some cover.
Yeah, I like the idea of cover myself.
That's a good point.
Griswold's just gonna take his horse and start mirroring off, kind of like veering off towards the Lurkwood.
Sure.
Hey, where you going, Vengeance Boy? We haven't decided yet, have we?
What?
I like it.
Vengeance boy.
We
He's got a big V on his chest.
we have to. I'm worried about getting shot at by people from Xantharl's Keep. I'm just.
Yeah, I assumed we were going north along the road until we make the decision, and then we'll step off into Lurkwood.
So that's what I was getting ready to ask. At this point, I'm assuming that you're still traveling fast north. But you're pretty much heading at a rapid clip while you're having this discussion. Correct me if I'm wrong. Otherwise, I'm going to continue that assumption.
No,
I think that's a safe assumption that you were
At this
making.
point, you're moving pretty quick. You've got a mile and a half behind you. So not a tremendous amount of distance, but some. While you continue to have this conversation.
All right. Do we want to go into Lurkwood?
I think most of the team said yeah, so.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So we go over.
Okay. Are you guys heading over at this point, or did you want to make some more distance up?
I would say if we can get to like right about in here.
Yeah,
we'll
To a point where we think they can't see us any longer from Xanthar's Keep. I
Yeah.
don't know what visibility looks like
Yeah.
this time of day. I guess it's pretty dark, but
Yeah,
otherwise
it's
they're
pretty
gonna be able
dark,
to
and you guys
track
don't have
us
any
too
lights
easily.
on you. You are, other than the noise that's echoing through the valley, you're pretty difficult to see, as it's still extremely early morning, and you did have a head start. You were out of sight from them before, and you over the. Give me a perception check, everybody. I'm going to use your passive perception here because I'm assuming that some of you probably were paying attention, listening for followers. So we're actively reading up. Yeah. In particular, Amrook, you were on alert as well. Okay. Yeah.
I don't have Frank yet, by the way, though. Garrett.
There we go.
You're on
Yeah,
a horse.
Sorry, my
Yeah, so
No, that's
that's
assumed
something
in your journal.
That's something we do need to clarify, though, because Siddle cast Fly. I jumped on a horse. Because
you're reduced as well, right? So
yeah.
well, that's a willing creature, so I can choose to stop that. If I am still reduced. But
How long does that last? I forgot you jumped on the horse. Thank you.
Just a minute. That's all.
Just a
That's
minute.
the only
Okay.
thing.
So yeah, that's a good point. We should probably clarify that then and go back. So a minute after you guys took off, Griswold, you went full size again, nearly breaking the back of this poor horse. But you managed to get off. And how long does your fly last, Rusty?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. So you weren't getting too far to the north either. But you hadn't cast Frank yet. Shoot. So you guys, Griswold, you were on foot during this fleeing.
Wait, hold on. I thought I was
say-
still able to ride on the back of the horse, right? Or was I?
You guys are one horse short.
Not at any
The-
speed.
Oh. Yeah.
You guys still got the mile and a half out of the way, but your horse is dragging right now, and you made it the 10 minutes that Siddle could fly, and now Siddle's puttering out. He's coming down the ground quicker than he'd like.
So I'm going to say, as far as we could get with that 10 minutes, let's get over into the woods.
Yeah. I agree.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So as
And
we
then,
see Siddle puttering down, we'll motion to go over to the woods.
Yeah, and I wasn't flying very far off the ground, maybe 5 feet, something like that, because I knew that it was going to wear out at some point.
But yeah, no damage there. And then Althea, Amrook, and Reed, as you guys were taking off, you were paying pretty close attention to what you heard behind there. You were able to get a good distance and out of sight, and you saw that there was nobody coming out of the gate as of yet. You feel like you did see some lights lighting up from inside the center of the keep that were bringing a bit of an ambiance over the keep as you went around that far corner. So you could hear the town waking up, some sounded like danger bells ringing, but no one had been out of the keep yet and directly in your tail.
As we veer off, I'd like to try and cover our tracks so that nobody sees that, this group of horses and stuff like that veered off into Lurkwood.
I will help him with that.
Okay. Go and give me a survival check.
Him
Both of
with
us, or-
advantage or both of
You
us
can either
rolling?
both roll or him with advantage, however you prefer.
I'm going to say we should probably both do it.
Okay. Nice.
You had a +7. I knew yours had to be up there. So.
I have a plus,
I was giving
but
you
my
the
rolls,
option.
my roll sucked.
All right, you guys get a branch out. And you kind of you're fluffing up the tracks. You're trying to keep the area. You're pushing some branches and some leaves over top of where you came off trail. You guys found an area that you wouldn't probably walk through a little stream up a little bit. So you were able to cover your tracks decently well. Not 100% if someone looks close during the daylight and they were really looking, but frankly, since they wouldn't know exactly where you may or may not have cut in, you feel like you're pretty comfortably inside of it without any direct giveaway. And as soon as you walk in, the outside of the Lurkwood is fairly rough, small brush, so you can't see in too far of it. Once you get inside there, it does open up a little bit. It's a bit of an older forest, so you feel like you have pretty good protection from the road with your visual. from there, how do you want to go? Are you guys kind of going into Lurkwood for a little while and run parallel? Just going to head in and camp out? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'd say let's go in. Maybe I don't know,
100
a couple
yards.
100 yards or so.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, and set up a little bit of a base camp for a little bit so we can kind of talk about what we want to do.
Agreed.
Yep, I agree.
Siddle, maybe when we stop and break, maybe you can send a message to this old ear guy. No, what was his name?
Hold here.
Hold here.
Oh, wait, no.
No,
That
no,
was the other
no.
guy.
No,
You going with Sildar or the?
The
no.
dude whose name we dropped.
The main guy in Xantharos.
Oh, Heldor.
Elder.
Elder.
Heldor.
Ah,
Maybe send him a message, like kind of like a "Oops, sorry about that," but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just to kind of ease things over a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we'll go in the woods a bit um and set up a little bit of a camp.
So you guys head about a half mile into the woods or so. Probably not even that far. Just enough that you're comfortably. You find a nice protected area, fairly good cover. You get some visibility, but you feel like you can set up a fire if need be. Rest the horses without having much visibility. And it's there's not much around. It's pretty much just woods as far as you can see. So no special area in particular.
As soon as we find like an area that looks like, I'm going to kind of scout it out a little bit, look for any type of like maybe tracks or any signs of maybe anything that's been through here.
Go ahead and give me a survival check.
That's a bit better.
There you go. Yes, you've got a pretty good feel for the area. You recognize a lot of various tracks. This is a pretty heavily covered area, especially right off the road. You see a lot of various animals that you would recognize. You see some deer tracks, some larger elk tracks coming through. Seems to be a few lone wolves that have been a couple days old, nothing fresh. You also see, not directly where you're camping, but as you kind of circle the area, you see some larger trails that are larger than deer or elk trails that have been moving through. It looks like there's some larger travel through. You do recognize that you're looking in a few humanoid footprints that have made their way, and it looks like a lot of travel at various points, although nothing extremely recent. Typically coming parallel to the road, sometimes towards it and away, but it seems to be crisscrossing in a lot of different directions. It's fairly well traveled within this vicinity. Now, the area that you guys kind of camped out in is not heavily trafficked. You kind of found a little way out of the way knowing this, affecting the brush, but it's certainly pretty active forest this close to the road.
All right, I will let everybody know. Hey, just make sure you keep your eyes open. This I think we're okay here. Doesn't look like there's been recent movement, but there's been movement through here though, a lot, but nothing recent. So
Just in case. I like it.
I think we should send those messages. Possibly one to the Lord's Alliance and the other to the Heldir of the Xantharos Keep, and just try and clear things up. And then we can make a decision on where to go.
yeah, I think that should be step A. That whatever their response kind of is, I think might determine what our next steps is.
Sounds good.
Just curious, how do we plan on explaining or clearing things up with Heldor? I think we made it pretty clear that we were gonna fuck them and leave.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. Was we made quite the fucking mess back there.
Yeah. Which I'm gonna go over to Adrian and give him a high five because that was ballsy. But yeah, I don't. I mean, we could certainly try to apologize or whatever the case, but I don't know if there's really any coming back from that one.
We do have a 5,000 gold bounty. Maybe we should tie up over there.
As in,
Read some palms.
trade in, give him the Weevil.
Maybe not
And-
all of it, but 1,000 gold could go a long way for a town to clean up. We didn't do any official destruction, but we could give some money back to the community, and I think they'll forgive us. But maybe we should tie him up.
That's a good point.
Well, I already have him. He's on.
You do have the rope of climbing wrapped around him.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that bad boy's not going anywhere.
So if we could just
Okay.
explain that we'd like to collect our bounty, and they could keep a fifth of it. Maybe it'll smooth things over.
I like it. I like it.
All right, I think that's probably our only shot. Let's give it a chance.
All right. So I'm gonna send message to Heldor first, then.
No
So
pressure,
here's what I
Rusty.
think to say.
Yeah, nothing around on this.
Nothing to worry about if you forget something, right?
Well, I mean, we
It's
can
all
all collaborate on this, right? I mean, we're open to talk about it, right?
I mean,
Yeah, we're
in
gonna discuss
You've
theory-
got time right now. You're
In
I'm
theory,
gonna write
yes, we
down-
could discuss it, but I kind of like the idea of Rusty having to do it.
Yeah, I'm liking this free basing it. I'm
Yeah,
all
like
about it.
I like it too. Keegan's like, I don't want to fuck this up. Shut the fuck up, guys. I want to talk about this.
Look, I'm all for it. Let's give it a shot and see what happens.
So here's tentatively what I'm gonna say. Sorry for the mess. Collecting bounty, 1K gold for you to help rebuild. Big guy got carried away with an ambusher.
Big guy told you to suck his taint. See you later, buddy.
And I'm gonna send it. Sound good?
Yeah.
I ignore him.
All right, sent.
Reed and Amrook are playing cards at this point.
So
who's playing cards?
Reed
Reed.
and Amrook.
I'm just gonna sit down where I can and just start writing in my journal again. And then as I'm writing up, I'm gonna start looking up at everybody and just say, so what's the we're waiting on these replies. What's the game plan if we can't get into Chamb3r?
It's pretty instantaneous. I say, let's hear what they have to say, and then we could figure that out.
I'm going to go ahead and cast my last second level spell slot to summon Frank, just in case.
Like it.
Reed kills Frank.
One kill.
Oh wait, I'm not playing Reed. Sorry, I forgot there. I was working on like my malice, you know.
Are you guys you taking a short rest while you're doing this and having the discussion?
I
It's like
assumed
the hour.
it was going to be like an hour
Yeah.
or so. So yeah,
But
Yeah.
short rest if possible.
yes, if you guys want to take the advantages of short rest.
Woo-hoo. All right. Heldor is not super happy with it. Said we can discuss return, turn ourselves in, and we'll be given a fair trial. And we've been instructed to leave all weapons outside the keep.
All right, so now since we can't get back into Chamb3r, what's the game plan now?
We got one more
Yeah.
message to send, I believe.
So before we do that, I'm gonna look to Griswold. All right, bruv. Now, what the fuck was that back there? The fucking grasshoppers show up. You give that motherfucker the iron fucking girder, and now we're not allowed back in the fucking keep. Do you know the difference between vengeance and violence? Amrook over here was pulling punches. Why couldn't you take the fucking hint?
I
Is that Boston?
Little combination.
All right.
I don't.
I say you got a little blend in there. I like it. A little unique.
Yeah. So did Siddle now find a voice?
I-
Because Griswold's just gonna look at him and be like, "You sound different."
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that was. Answer the question at hand. We're not here to talk about my accent.
I like
Oh, something creeping in.
think
I love it.
I think we have bigger things to worry about right now, but nonetheless,
Yeah, you
we
are
were
the
in
bigger
battle.
thing we have to worry about.
We were in battle, and that bastard had to die. That's what it
But
is.
He
But
was running away and the cops showed up.
we didn't know if he was running away or looking to turn around and start shooting at us. So I'd rather be safe than sorry.
You couldn't just knock him out.
No, no. Evan didn't remember that one, so Griswold just said, "I'm gonna fucking kill him."
All right.
You know what? I mean, in all reality, I think any way you look at it, we were gonna have to spend at least one night in jail, regardless. So
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving my weaponry. I'm not leaving my weapons outside of Xanthar's keep. That's not going to happen.
So who's this other person we want to send a message to?
Sildar is a member of the Lord's Alliance as well. He was the one that brought me on. He may be able to help us clear our name, or at least ease things up a bit. I don't know though.
Gee,
So
do I know anything about the trial process?
You do. You were not directly involved with it, but you're very aware of the military law within the acts of Chamb3r. It is fair. It is a dwarven tribunal that is called. Typically, 3 dwarves that listen to testimony from both sides. Any witnesses being called. You're kept. Typically, it's done fairly expediently within a week, most likely. Plenty of time to call witnesses, evaluate any stories that are told. You'll be assigned a representative as well, a dwarf from likely the area, but it would be a military tribunal-esque system.
I don't know. It feels a bit much to ask for Sildar's help after that fucking mess, though.
I don't know how well this. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with the trial, but
I'm gonna
whatever
say,
works.
if you guys go back for the trial, it'll be fair, but I can't go with you.
I'm not going back for a trial at all. That's not.
I mean, I will not apologize for what I did. Those bandits were attacking us. I mean, that's clear as day. I won't apologize for that. And if they have a problem with that, then so be it. But I meant no harm to them or anyone else other than the people attacking us. I had to ensure that they weren't going to come back and attack the party, and if they can't understand that, then
Well, let's weigh this out. I mean, we go back to trial. Amro can't join us. We have to leave all of our weapons. They're likely going to take the Weevil, so we lose out on 5K gold, in hopes that this might maybe clear all of our names. But as soon as we show up without Amrook, Holdir is going to call us out because we're missing somebody, and that's going to screw us right off the bat. I think this is completely weighed against us if we go back at this point.
Completely agreed.
Do
yes,
we know, like, I assume we're keeping watch because, we were attacked for them to try and get the Weevil, and so we would want to, like, keep watch to make sure that they weren't tracking us down, whoever the ambushers were.
I'm actually using your passive perception right now. Hey, she speaks. But yeah, anyone that would like to actively take watch, feel free to roll on a perception check.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that for sure.
And now, how's that work, G? Like, if we're in conversation, is that a disadvantage for perception, or?
So I'm saying you're on high alert. You've got good visibility. You guys have chosen your terrain. So typically, I was going to give you advantage on your perception check. However, because you're in conversation, disadvantage. So that's why I was waiving it to a standard perception. So basically, you guys are talking, but at the same time, no one's really looking eye to eye. You're talking while looking around. You guys have heads on a swivel because you've got both the axe of Chamb3r potentially on your trail, as well as whoever attacked you previously for the Weevil. So I assume you guys are pretty astute right now, keeping an eye out. This isn't like an end of the day resting. This is an active fortification. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm paying
That's the
attention.
assumption I'm going with here. Althea, yeah, you're paying pretty good attention with a 16.
Got it.
Carl's on the ball.
For sure.
Yeah, he is.
Amrook is
Amrook does
is
not
decked
like
out. He's
Carl.
on.
Amrook's a little anxiety right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're a little worried about Amrook. He's bug eyed at the moment, shifty, squirming a lot. If you didn't know any better, you'd think Amrook was on something. Good berry high.
Speaking of, do you happen to have any good?
Just to calm the nerves.
I just need one or two to take the edge off.
I pull out a stale one. Sorry, but that's all I got.
It's perfect. I don't even taste it. I swallow it so fast.
That's what she said.
I'm talking about your mom again.
Get the fuck out of here.
Heyo.
From off in the distance, if you're tied up next to a tree, you just hear a dwarven voice kick out that is now free from this friend spell that was cast upon him, and no longer in your debt. Speaking truthfully. All right, well, sounds like you're in quite the pickle.
gonna gag
I
him.
suggest
Holy fuck off over there.
I'm gonna put something in his mouth.
I make sure the big guy doesn't kill him.
Use your imagination.
He grumbles for a few minutes as you guys gag him, but that's it. And he just kind of goes back to sitting.
Any word from the Lord's Alliance, Siddle?
I haven't talked to him yet. I had to take a moment to bitch out the big guy.
Oh,
He doesn't sound very apologetic anyway.
Oh, Siddle,
No.
let's see what Sildar says, and I'll buy you a beer later, or an ale.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more than one to fucking take care of this shit.
Grizz, how do you think Gideon would feel about this? I mean, Gabriel.
I didn't do this in spite. These bandits were attacking us. They stumbled upon us and threatened us from the start. I don't think he'd have an issue with it.
Okay.
I mean, we had mages that were hiding. Who's to say that this other one wasn't going to run off and just start shooting us from somewhere? I was looking to protect us, myself, and the group here. I have no issue with it.
What was that fucking H fucker's name? Not Holdir.
Holder.
We already talked to Holder.
No, I know. What was that guy's name? I can't fucking remember.
Holder. Helder.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Oh, the
Oh,
commander.
you're gonna send the message. Okay, gotcha.
Is he's sending something to Sildar, and he's going to say the commander so and so is pissed at us. Can you help us?
I'm gonna slide over to Adrin and say, if we head towards Luskan, I'm sure we could find somebody to take the Weevil off our hands for at least half the bounty.
I'm almost at the mindset of let's just cut him loose and just be done with him. Fuck, to heck with the gold. Me. I don't really care.
Do we know
But that's
See, I don't like the idea of him being turned loose just because motherfucker sent me to my death, but
Valid point.
that's more of a personal thing. If it's something else that's best for the party, you know, I can't let my personal shit stand in the way.
Listen, y'all put me on a watch list now. We're keeping this bitch, and we are going to bring him back.
I couldn't care less what we would do with him.
Reed kills him.
Is that what you want?
I was just practicing my if I were Reed.
Oh, we could. I mean, there have been plenty of people that have accidents with ball bearings. I mean,
Dime a dozen happens every day.
something like that. Say
Do
the
we
word.
know- Do we know anything about the Gauntle Grim rhyme, whatever the hell?
What is that?
That is a dwarf. No.
What is
Yes, it is a dwarven location. If everyone wants to go ahead and give me a history check, you can find out.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You can certainly try.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Amber, go ahead and give it to me with advantage.
that? Thank you, sir. If I could find it.
Nice.
16.
Who are we missing? Althea?
Keegan or Warwick.
My bad.
Warwick. History check, sis. All right, I'll add anything then if whenever he comes back, Warwick knows anything more. So yeah, generally you guys have mostly heard the same thing. Actually, Adrian, you spend some time in the area as well. Give me a second one for advantage.
Mm.
To give it to you as well.
Not better.
All right, you slept through this class.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of you guys recall the stories of Gonal Grim as a great dwarven city at one time. Reading it through the history books, it was an incredible bastion of strength for the Empire, for the dwarves way back when. Before they got a little too ambitious, went a little too deep, and the rumors are that up from the depths of this fortified city, that something rose from below, killing most of the inhabitants. And then for centuries, it went uninhabited by anyone from the outside realm. Stories of anyone attempting to re-enter quickly vanished and never to return. And so it long went unheld. Now, recently, you have heard tales, though unverified, that a group of dwarves, an army really, have supposedly gone and retaken the city, though none of you have been able to verify that claim in particular.
So what are we thinking about going?
No, I was just Griswold was asking a question about nearby area. If you want to go ahead and roll a history check, Keegan or Warwick, I doubt you're going to know anything more than we did. But if you roll that 20, maybe.
Yeah,
You rolled a
Oh my
22.
god.
What the fuck?
All right. Yeah, Warwick, in your travels, you have learned recently that Gauntlegrim is once again active, and the forges of the city and the armies have once again taken it back. In fact, you heard rumor of the legendary dwarf Brunner Battlehammer that led the army back to overtake Gauntlegrim. And at first you didn't believe it, but you've now heard it from multiple places. And you've heard that the fires of Gauntlegrim are once again burning and the legendary forge is moving, and very active. And its forge was quite legendary. Everyone has told the stories. This is basically a place of nursery rhymes, sort of thing, that is now active again.
Nice. So are we thinking allies? Are we thinking about going in and taking this over? What are we thinking?
I'm just
I
gonna
think
throw
it's
this out there.
probably-
We could take the Weevil back down to Chromatic Orb. I'm sure they'd lock him up there for us. Possibly even negotiate with Chamb3r. We don't have to head face first into battle, we can just fall back to those who know our bravery.
So I heard back from Sildar. Says that he doesn't know Helder personally, but understands our predicament. He'll try and smooth things over if he can. It may take some time. But says that Grizz should behave in a way more becoming of the Lord's Alliance.
Cyril, did you tell him the whole story? That doesn't matter right now. Where are we gonna go?
Amrook and Adrin, at this moment, off in the distance, you hear the loud clomping of horsefeet. It sounds like a good few dozen from what you can tell, and from what you can tell, they appear to be heading north. It got a little bit louder and then softer again to the north of you. And you hear a few shouts, nothing you can make out, just the echoes through the forest.
They could be after us. It might be beneficial to head south anyway. If we think they went north.
I'm liking that idea.
Lady Durathra is on our side, and she's part of the Lord's Alliance.
I thought she was the Harpers.
She works for the Harpers, yes.
Harpers, yeah.
Either way.
Chamb3r, however, is loosely associated with the Lord's Alliance.
They're all cults to me. Either way. She'll be able to communicate with them, and she'll at least we won't have to carry around the Weevil with us as we go anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm not hating that idea.
Where's that other portal? That other teleportation thing? That's in Yartar, right?
One in Yartar, one in Chamb3r, one in Neverwinter, one in Waterdeep, and one in...
I thought it was Luskan as well.
No, not Luskan.
Yeah. But Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Chamb3r, Silvery Moon?
Silvery Moon. Silvery Moon?
Silvery Moon.
Up here.
Fiddle, was there anything else that you needed to do, now that we have the Weevil? I mean...
Everland.
We were kind of doing this for you.
Everland, that's it.
Yeah,
Everland,
I mean...
did we say Loudwater?
No.
Oh, I forgot Loudwater.
I'd like to make our way down to... hang on, I gotta check my notes. Was it Neverwinter, where the Rusty Nail is?
Yeah.
I'd like to make my way to Neverwinter at some point and do some more investigation of the S Society and the Rusty Nail and, why this asshole over here sent me to my death. But, other things can take precedent over that. I understand that this is, again, kind of a personal matter, so...
And you hear a chuckle coming from behind the gag.
Go fuck yourself.
I feel like we started this for you, Siddle, and I feel like we kind of need to kind of see it through. What we could do is we could go to Chamb3r, drop off the Weevil, head to Yartar, use that teleportation to go over to Neverwinter, and Bob's your uncle. Check out the Rusty Nail.
Who is this Bob you speak of?
Don't worry about it.
I have no Uncle Bob.
He just fucking told you he's your uncle.
You'll meet Uncle Bob later, trust me. He's one of them creepy uncles. You may like it. I don't know. Depends. Yeah, that's that's my vote.
I'm not hating it.
Yeah, it will take some time, you said, for Sildar to try and work things over anyway, so that makes sense. We just have to figure out how to explain it to Lady Durathra on our way.
Suppose it might be a good way to lay low, huh?
So
we might have to go around Long Saddle.
Probably.
I don't know how we can explain. Who do we lose? Ryan. There he is. I don't know how we could.
Would I know the Axe's representation in Long Saddle if it was safe to go through?
Very little representation from your recollection.
That's what I thought. But
Almost no
But
presence
how do we-
from your recollection, and none that
But
you saw first time through.
But how do we explain to the gates that why we have somebody bound and gagged?
he's just a bounty. I think they'll understand that.
Can someone not cast invisibility? If we were to rest and we were worried about that,
I could. Yep.
I think we should just circumvent the city myself. Might be safer.
So the only reason to go into Mirror Bar at this point,
He meant Long Saddle.
yeah,
Circumvent
no,
Long Saddle.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking out the whole thing in general. The only reason to go to Mirror Bar is to drop off the Weevil, right? And then if Amrook, if you have anything to do in Mirror Bar, I don't know if you do or not.
Nope, we'd rather not go. Good.
Dang it.
Or
Let's go to Chamb3r.
or time out, Blue. We could take this asshole all the way to Yartar, take the portal to Mirabar, leave him with the people that handle the portal, and say, hey, we'll take part of the cut, and you can have the other part, and
I think
we
that
don't
might
even
be
have
giving
to
them
go-
too much information. If we want to lay low, they're going to know where we came from.
who?
Or if one of us decides to go to disguise self and drop off the Weevil.
I was thinking that too, but
they
we
know
don't.
we have the
we
Weevil.
won't
They're going
have
to capture whoever has him.
But they don't. We can turn him over to somebody that's part of Lord's Alliance or the Harbor, whoever handles the gate, the portal gate.
Yeah.
Just hand him over to him and say, here, he's wanted for a bounty. Turn him into the proper authorities. Keep 1,000 gold for yourself, and
why don't we just see if Lady Darathra can do that for us? I mean, I'm sure she would love 1,000 gold pieces, and I'm sure she'd be willing to give us the rest of that to handle safe passage of the Weevil.
I trust Lady
You were sure
Darathra
that-
more than some random harpers in Mirabar.
Maybe. Well,
You were sure that bandit needed to die and got us into this fucking mess.
Either way, I think we're all in agreement. We're gonna head down to Tribor and then go to Yartar. So we can figure out what we're gonna do with the Weevil along the way. But
yeah,
I say we start skedaddling, or we either take a long rest and then skedaddle.
yeah, we're probably halfway through the day by now.
So I figure you took the one short rest and stayed a little bit longer as you continue to skip the side. So actually, by the time you took the short rest and did much else, it was so early in the morning. You're probably only about 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's still early morning.
And we want to during the day, trying to lay low because
It's going to take us 4.25 days to get to Tribor.
Well, as long as we don't stop for you and Cyril to gamble, I think we should be good.
I'll be fine.
So I'm good with taking off. I mean, we're good of like horses and stuff like that, right? Or are we gonna get slowed down by?
I have Frank now, so it doesn't matter.
We're probably going to get slowed down a little bit through the woods, but as soon as we make it down past the woods, we can get back on the long road and we'll make up some time.
Let's do that.
You're going to be slightly hampered. Remember, you are one horse short. You're doing double duty with somebody. You would set it up with the halflings since they were light. It's still 2 people, so I would say you're not getting the full 48 miles a day. I'd probably say 75% of that.
Wait,
and that's traveling at normal pace on the path.
Wait, why are
Frank would Frank
You
be
got
able to hold
the
Grizz
Weevil.
and the Weevil?
Frank's already struggling to hold Grizz. That one is borderline as is.
Wait, Frank is?
He's got you. He's okay. So you guys had just enough horses plus Frank to hold each of you. You now have the Weevil. So you need to carry the Weevil with somebody or have him walk. But either somebody's doing double duty, so a horse has 2 people on it, or somebody's walking. If you walk, you're back down to half speed. Since you're double, I'm saying you're at 75%. Since you need to take some time, you don't want to wear out the horses too badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the smaller individuals should probably have the weevil because Frank is already having to deal with me as it is. So
That's fine. So, all right.
I can travel. I will give somebody my horse. We'll put the weevil on my horse.
Do we
And
trust him not to try and break free, though? If we just put him on a horse, there's a chance he could try something. It might be better to have him on a horse with somebody.
we could surround him, and I'm sure that we can snipe him down.
If you want to chance it, it'll just slow us down. If he does try something, then we might lose half a day for it. I think we're safer if we just travel at 75% speed and go for it.
All right. Yeah.
Right, let's do that.
That's up to you guys. I don't agree, but it is what it is. 6 in one, half dozen in the other. So let's just get moving and go where we need to go.
What is this half dozen that you speak of? What does that mean? Is that giant talk?
It'll fly over your head.
I'll tell you when you're taller.
I like it.
Don't let those words fly over your head.
Adrian, did you say you could travel at a good clip on your own?
Who?
Adrian.
Oh, sorry, Adrian. Yeah. You
I
never really
was
finished. You were starting to read something there.
I was going to shape change into a horse.
Ah.
I can do that for 3 hours, and I can do that twice.
Okay.
6 hours is a pretty good bit of travel.
Yeah.
Can you put the weevil on your back?
Yeah. Oh, when we stop, I'm going to take a hit die, or a few hit die.
Yeah. So do I.
Did you want to do that during the short rest?
Yeah, during the short
You guys
rest.
wanted to use it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in short rest.
Can I call for a quick bio break too?
We're not doing a
Say again,
long rest,
Fiddle?
right? We're just picking up and going.
Short rest?
Yeah.
Correct, you can use hit die.
Okay, I have 70-10 to use. Which is awesome. I'm going to use 4.
Can you put us back to the home screen, G, so we can see our...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Second, James?
And then maybe we can take a bio break while we're doing these hit die for resting.
And then are you guys, so you're in the woods right now, you're traveling south. I'm assuming you're staying in the woods through past Xanthar's Keep. How far? For the first day's travel, do you plan on staying on trail at all, staying off trail?
Nice, Rusty.
Yeah.
If we can travel through the woods for the first day, I think that would be a good idea. At least to get a couple miles south of Xantharl.
What does the hit die do?
Increase your hit points.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I got hit, so I'm good.
Your full speed is just a way to get hit point back. It's like a healing.
I'm guessing this is a long rest.
Short.
This is short rest. You guys are taking a short rest for about an hour or two, and now you're getting ready to take off again south. And for your recollection, Warwick, I'll go ahead and post that in there.
So what are the hit die? That's the only thing I missed.
Hit die gives you back hit points if you were hurt.
Oh, you're doing the... Okay.
Regain HP.
Yeah.
I was just curious about Evans.
Yeah, I did. I have 7D10.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just saw the rolls going because I was trying to figure out this.
Whoa, what he was doing. Got it.
I was just making sure that's what we were doing. I
We were
to make sure we
rolling for
weren't beating this shit. Well, with the murder hobo above, I don't know if he's just beating the shit out of the weevil or not. Because
I was gonna say
I
this
wanted
is
to
tackle on the weevil.
I wanted to suggest I could drag him behind my horse. I have no problem doing that. I have rope.
I thought about that, or if we stuff him in the bag of holding, then it like doesn't matter. But I'm pretty sure he dies either way.
All right. I'll tell you what. You want to take a quick bio break then before we take on the next part?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Let's do that. It is exactly 10 o'clock now, so 10:10.
So Garrett, there you go.
Momentarily.
Here,
Oh yeah.
2, 1. What were you saying, Garrett? Sorry.
I just said welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back, everyone.
Great song by Mace, by the way.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
Oh,
She could have texted any one of us. She picked fucking Carl.
Yeah, sorry. I've been getting in the habit of like not having my phone on me on the weekends, just like leaving it somewhere in the house and not touching it. That way I don't look at it all weekend.
It's
Nice.
great, isn't it?
oh, it's so nice, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. I just don't even like. I look at it like one time at night just to make sure there was nothing that came up, and then that's about it.
I need to do that more.
I
Yeah.
try to
Oh,
do
it's
it
the
one weekend a
best thing.
month.
Me too.
And then everyone's like, "Why didn't you answer your phone?" It's like, well, you don't have a like, you don't need to reach me at all times.
Exactly.
All right.
That's where I'm glad I do the 2-phone thing, because I can just leave the work phone when I'm not doing work things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I've
Teams is.
officially removed it all from my personal phone now.
I only have the
Hey, Carl,
personal,
sorry.
and I only have the personal, and Teams is on there, so I can't help but look.
Yeah.
I made that mistake previously. Never again.
I used to have everything on both phones, and I realized no. Sometimes I need to be able to turn it off.
See, I only have the one, and I just ignore people. Like I took a sick day the other day, and some salesperson decided to call me twice and then message me, and I said, "Hey, I'm out today. I'll be there tomorrow." Oh, well, this is a real quick one. I'm like, no, you didn't understand. I'm
I'm
not
out
here today. I will talk to you tomorrow.
I like the response. I'm not here today.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna start trying that as well, but while I'm here.
Yeah, Garrett. If you don't hear from me like before 12 o'clock ever again, I'm not here today.
All right, good to know. But you gotta tell me you're not here today.
Oh, I'll have people call me 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, I'm dealing with a lot of other things. You can email me. Thank you.
See, I've got a lot of the sales guys pretty well trained where they'll message me and be like, "Hey, man, you got a second?"
Yeah.
Which is perfect.
If it's a couple of select people, I always tell them no. Like, you can send me.
Well, I've got people I just need to mentally prepare myself to talk to, so I'm like, "Oh, I'll call you back in like 5 minutes."
Yeah, I definitely need to do that sometimes.
I had one where he called me 2 times in the morning, once in the afternoon. Then I got an email that said, "This is really important. Call me." The two things he had to talk to me about, one of them I had emailed on and said, "Hey, this is what we need to do. No big deal." The second one was something that I had already quoted, and I'm like, that was the important stuff. Like, that was it.
Real quick, we're live, right?
Yeah,
that's
we are.
why I'm not saying any names.
All right, just making sure.
Yep.
Anyone watching, we are very good at our jobs.
And good at avoiding them.
Yes.
I was waiting to see how long it would go before someone was like, "So we're on our way to Tribor."
Yeah, so we're on our way to Tribor. Yeah.
Shite.
Garrett, can you bring up the big map again?
I'm gonna bring you back. You don't know any way to rotate it. Man. Ooh, yeah, that'll work. Never mind. All right, ignore me. Bringing you back to big map.
I just want to verify.
Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm almost there. You guys have thrown me off my game.
Not surprised.
Doesn't take much.
It's what we do best.
Listen, you can't have a game plan if we don't.
This is true. You guys are masters of improv, though.
You know what?
You're
I
playing chess and we're playing checkers.
I was thinking let's head down to Lork. Anybody up for that?
We do have to go to Lork, though.
Listen, I dropped that one like 6 months ago, and you guys have failed to take it up.
Yeah.
We were waiting for you to forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. Lork, that place sounds nice. Never gonna visit there. Ever.
So who's doing the silvery moon thing right now? Is that you, Andrew?
You
that's
can
me.
look at their color next to their name, and that's who.
Oh
it is.
yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I always hide mine, so you won't see mine.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Shit.
Nice.
All right.
Looking silvery moon. That was number 8, by the way, on the list of possibilities.
It's a lot higher than I put it.
I mean, Zamorvin Hall, we could go back there and head that way, because Silver Moon also has a teleportation device, so... No.
All right. I'll just keep that in mind, gents.
It's only 509
so-
miles to the Ice Spires. We could just head there.
I would walk 509
only,
miles.
Only a day to Mirabar, though.
Yeah, let's go to Mirror Bar. We'll just put your head on a spike. All right, it'll be easier.
Before we head to Tribor, I do have to ask. The disguise kits. How many people have the disguise kits?
I purchased one in Yortar.
I can
I have
disguise
one.
myself.
I think Keegan has a disguise kit. So we have 2.
I
3.
mean, I can also forge documents and
Yeah, Reed has one.
say that hold dear or no, the dude in the Xantharl's Keep has acquitted us of everything.
Silver.
Just throwing that out there.
I mean,
What
You
if
could.
we can make it to Mirabar and we could just hit that teleportation device? That would save us a lot of time. It is risky, but I mean, do you not think that there's going to be some type of patrol out along the way? I mean, if they don't find us in Mirabar, I mean, they could be sending people along south.
that's why we wanted to leave now and get ahead of that patrol.
I mean, we hope that's the only patrol, but
Well, that and we're sticking to the woods for a little while, so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, if we go to Mirabar, you think it might be shorter, but if you get apprehended, then it's definitely not shorter. You'll
Yeah.
spend at least a week for the trial.
no, that's true.
Maybe longer if you go to fucking prison.
Yeah,
And let's be real here. That's the only possibility out of this.
yeah.
Well,
probably.
at least for one of us. Only one of us killed someone.
This is true. This is true.
It's real hard to defend you when you kill him when he's running away, man.
All right, so let's go down to Tribor.
yeah, Tribor.
All right, so you guys are heading south to Tribor. Then you're gonna stay in the woods for you. You went into the woods about 1.5 miles north of Xantharl's Keep, so I assume you want to stay towards the woods longer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably to about this tip right
Hold on, I'm on a different screen. Let me come back.
here, and then
Alright.
we'll scoot over to the long road from there. In my opinion.
Right.
Unless somebody
Right at
else says so.
the second little
Nip.
camel hump.
So just an FYI, I mean, you were at Xantharl's. You're able to get about 75% of your travel in throughout the day. You're going about 36 miles in a day, and you've lost a little bit, but you'd make it up. So you're only getting to about there in day 1.
That's about the plan anyway. We'll get to that second camel hump, and then we'll take a long rest. We'll camp there overnight, and then we'll get on the road the next morning.
How far is So that's like 11 miles. To the
just
road?
Yeah, once it bucks in. Now it's in this area in between. It's kind of sparsely populated, hilly area. So you're hidden from the road. You can't be seen once you're only about a half mile to a mile in. You're completely hidden from the road. It's just a lot of wavering hills, and it's probably faster travel than making your way through the woods itself and more protected. So my assumption was you're going to be traveling in that middle zone, but you guys tell me: you full woods and cover, middle zone, or road.
I think the goal here is just to stay hidden, so I'd be okay with it
Yeah.
if you think we'd be hidden enough.
Yeah.
I would say you'd be fully hidden from the long road.
Okay.
Deal. So we travel that for the day, and then camp out for a long rest at night.
Sure.
And what's the marching order?
Emmerich
I'm
will be caboose.
I'm going third.
300
For
miles.
third, all right.
Well, I'm probably. I mean, I still have the Weevil, right? No one else took him, so I'm last.
Going back, all right. Grizz and Weevil.
Well,
Take a point.
I'll be behind them. I'll be last behind them in case he tries anything.
Okay.
Who's up first?
I'll take up.
I got nobody. I got Warwick third. Reed, you're taking point.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take up second behind Reed.
I'm gonna
All right.
hang in the back with Emrook just because I want to keep the Weevil in my sight.
All right. Althea,
I'll go fourth.
first it is. All right. You guys continue moving southward, then staying off the road, keeping a pretty solid perception in all vicinities from both any dangers from the Lurkwood as well as any dangers from the long road. A few different times over the course of the day, off in the distance through the hills, you do hear the echo of horse beats. Typically, they are accompanied by a cart of some type, which would, to you, limit the threat, likely not a roving band. You do hear a solitary rider at one point off the distance from the best you can tell, but not a lot of travel. You typically only pick up about 3 or 4 sounds from the distance there. As for the Lurkwood Forest itself, you've kept a good probably 7 miles between you and the forest itself. So you've got a pretty good clearance there, although you keep a weary eye towards it. And all is pretty quiet in that vicinity. Nothing that's out of the ordinary that you've seen. And you've got pretty good visibility most of the time. So all is quiet. As you continue making your way down, about 2/3 of the way through, the sun's getting a little lower on the horizon, but it's still fully light out. You can see it. You're a few hours shy of dusk. Passing through, and all's been fairly quiet. At that point, you hear a noise off in the distance. It initially sounds like a slap of some type, followed closely by another and another. As something in the sky continues to slap the air, that you can hear getting closer and closer. You see a shadow approaching from the north, kind of coming up behind you, coming south as well, on your left-hand side, and it's off in the distance. And taking a look, you see this shadow pass decent ways off, probably right over the Lurkwood Forest, maybe a few miles in. So it's a good 10 miles off, but you can certainly see it off in the distance and hear that from that far away. That's how much sound carries in this particular vicinity. As it passes the south, you watch it slowly disappear in front of you over the forest and fade off into the distance.
Yikes.
Continue traveling onward. Making your way south on the long road. As the evening approaches, you hear very little other road traffic. It seems like most people would have tried to get to either Longset or Xanthar's Keep, which seems to be what you've heard of now. That stretch people make as quickly as humanly possible, so as not to be caught out on guard. Getting closer to that double hump, once again that sound reaches your ears. You hear the early impression of it.
Do
reaching off in the distance.
can we
that?
tell by the pace or anything? Like, do we think this is a dragon? Do we think it's a wyvern? Do we know any history of anybody using them for search parties or anything like that?
Is it a griffin?
That is a lot of questions. Just go ahead and give me. Let's start with a history check here.
Nope. I know shit.
Oh, look at that. There's our horses.
That one.
Wow.
Damn.
Nice ones.
Keep them coming.
Amrook, while everyone else is looking at their horses and petting them, you're actually curious what this is. Reed, you have a general thought about it. That
I said I didn't even roll.
are you on there? Is that coming up for you?
I said no. I didn't even roll. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Do you try, or is Roll20 not working?
No, I'm not. I'm not just trying.
Okay, just making sure. There's been some issues recently. I didn't want to not give you the opportunity here. Yeah, but otherwise, Amrook and Reed, you guys take it back, and there's no thought to anyone using aerial creatures that you know of in this particular vicinity. At least certainly not large enough in the shadow that you saw. As for what you see, the shadow is getting closer. This does look slightly bigger than a wyvern. Not as large as what you've seen in the past, perhaps in real life, perhaps in dreams, but it certainly looks larger. Hey, FYI for everybody, you are now on your horses. I have added in so that we can track that now as well. If you have a name, it should be in your journal. Let me know if your horse does not show up in your journal. If you've named it previously, it's there. Best that I can recall or find it in my notes. If I missed it, let me know. But it is at least accurate as far as color description whenever you received your horsey.
Are we supposed to have access to them to move them?
You are supposed to. If you do not, let me see why.
I do not either.
I don't.
Oh, you know what? They're in your journal, but they can't be edited or controlled by. That was
Yeah.
my mistake. Mostly, I put them in there just so you can name them and we can keep better track of them because we tend to lose track of our horses. Okay, Adrian, you should be good. That's the
Where do they show up? Do they show up under creatures?
Under
they
your
should be under your name,
under your name.
Yeah, I don't see it.
where your journal is.
I got my
Won't
personal
let me
pack,
change the name.
Giant Slayer, Flameforge,
Oh, now it
and
can.
Dragon Guard, not attuned.
Okay, I'll see you. Hold on, Amrook coming up.
I'm good.
Second Amrook, you're up next. Yep. Misspelled your name whenever I typed it in.
His name is.
Have Carl H. Just have Carl. All right. How about now, Amrook?
Yep.
All right. Grizz, you've got Frank already. Reed, you're a black horse named Blue.
Yep.
Let me get you. All right. You should now have control. Let's take this moment to take a step outside of the game while you now have control of your horses. Siddle, I'm working on you next. A couple different things. One, it's meant to just be able to keep track of it. Two, you should actually be on the same square. I put it under here so you can track it, but since you're technically riding, this will allow you to either, one, have additional movement speed since you will be on a horse. Can utilize that, or B, can send your horse to safety or whatnot. But it is an advantage and a detriment to your battle now moving forward, and we can keep better track of them. They do exist. Not to convolute things, they will not have an actual initiative order. We will either you're riding them or they are out of the way. Your call. And Warwick, let me get you yours last, and we're good to go. Hopefully that is okay with everybody, but I thought it would be the initial little improvement.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I'm gonna need control
Okay,
of
everyone should.
Griswold again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, everyone should now have control of their horses. Now, I did not line you up per your initiative order, so we can go ahead and do that first with Chamb3r and Siddle in the back. I'm going to go ahead and move you guys. Can I? Oh, I thought you could link them.
Nah, I don't think you can.
You can just highlight both and move together that way.
Exactly. Or if you like click and drag above and below, if they're on the same square, you have selected both, like mine is now.
Say that again?
Like, go to the square up, click and drag down below,
Ooh,
and then you will
yeah,
select
that's how I was
both
doing
of
it.
them.
Got it. Cool. You guys are just riding around this pasture. Very, very interested in the horses.
We're just figuring them out. This is our first time.
Whee! All right, so at the back of the group was Siddle and Amrook, so you guys are to the far north.
North. Okay.
North side, you guys are coming down to the south. Siddle, I'm going to move you down here. All right. Back. Cool. All right, then followed by Grizz and the Weevil. And Siddle, I'm going to have you guys side by side, and you and Amrook. Then Amrook, and where's up the Weevil? There he is. So he is currently restrained as well. And followed by, let's see, Amrook, Siddle, Grizz and Weevil, Althea, and Warwick, Adrian, Reed. Yeah, you're on top of him. Warwick, there you are. So did not leave room for Althea. Oh, hold on. Let me adjust everyone here. I'm going to get Warwick and Adrian. Cool. Althea, you're heading over. Good deal. And then Reed leading the way on blue. All good there, other than, wait, let me put Brooke and Siddle together. You guys were hanging out in the back together. All right, everything looked right there as far as marching order goes.
Yep.
Sure.
That's enough.
Good enough for government work.
All I could ask for. All right, so off in the distance to your left, your character's heading south, or in this case to the east. You hear the flapping getting closer, slowly wrapping around, coming over, approaching from about this direction. Getting a little bit closer, you see the green shadow starting to form off in the sunlight.
Should we take cover? What is that?
Garrett, what direction was? Where was he? Whereabout was that at?
Right side of the screen, so where the red dot is, about this direction. No longer heading directly to the north, now kind of cutting at a, say, 45-degree angle, kind of heading in this direction here. It's not right here, but that's the direction he's heading. Let me give you a header here. Like that way. Kind of wrapping just behind you now. Historically, he passed, just coming straight past you this way. Now it seems to be heading in this direction at about a 45-degree.
Can we get to this clove of? Are these trees? Or are these just brush?
Those are trees. So they are small ones that you see. If it's about 1 square, 5 feet, those are small brush. The larger ones that are 10 feet or beyond are trees. So brush, trees.
Let's see if we can break through this tree here for a little bit of cover.
And you guys make the break for it, and you can certainly get there. Question is, can you hide there once you're there? There's a large number of you, and it is a small cluster. So if anybody else wants to break, you have some time. From what you can tell, he's a couple hundred yards off up in the air. Had plenty of warning as he approached, so you can set yourselves up on the screen as you feel.
We
break
can
off
move
over here.
ourselves.
Again?
You said we can move. Okay, I'm.
Go ahead. You are not an initiative. You have time. You see him approaching from the distance, and as he gets closer, you see the definitive traits of what appears to be a green dragon that you are now familiar with. He looks rather immature, certainly undeveloped, not quite as large as what you would expect from a full-grown dragon. He appears to be scanning the horizon. However, does spend an inordinate amount of time looking in your particular direction. So I'm going to put the Weevil
Oh yeah, I can't.
with
I don't
you,
have
Grizz.
control.
Good. He is next to you in your block, no problem. And then Siddle. What controller you're, Siddle?
I'm gonna whisper to Griswold and tell him if that dragon comes down, have Frank guard the Weevil.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Okay.
G, am I able to hide behind this bush?
Yes. You were able to get that. So the large part of that is a tree. You were able to hide close to it, but you were able to get there. So I am not going to have everyone do a stealth check. I'll tell you what, go ahead and give me individual stealth checks if you were particularly attempting to hide.
Do we need a stealth check for our horse as well?
I was gonna say, do you want disadvantage since we're on a horse?
Disadvantage since you're on a horse, yes. So no need to do it for the horse specifically, but disadvantage since you're on the horse.
Can I just have advantage instead? Because that'd be pretty sweet.
How did I get a 17 with my disadvantage? That is ridiculous. That's awesome.
Althea, did you jump off your horse? Or wow, Adrian.
No, I got a 14. I rolled separate because you told me after I already rolled.
Sorry, I didn't see yours up top there. It was combined with your history check. All right.
I'm gonna
14
chalk
it
it up
is.
since that was the first one. That's why mine's so bad. He saw me.
You were in the front. That's the brute, and because Amrook was in the back, that's his downside.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Interesting. Okay. So this large green dragon continues to make its way in your direction. You see it scanning. You see it flying. It's currently about 200 feet in the air as it approaches, heading just north of your location. It is now within sight.
I'm gonna. Oh, never mind.
Passing by much closer than you would prefer. You see him pass by you to the north, going off screen from the distance, continuing to maintain his path in that direction, before suddenly hooking back around. See him now.
Garrett's trying to get us fucking killed today.
So
To be fair, this is your doing.
I would like to point out there, this is not retribution, despite what was suggested based on you guys throwing me off. This was a semi-pre-planned possibility of an encounter, depending on what you did. So, not pure retribution. One of the possibilities, should you spend too much time in the woods or off trail.
I think we
There's a little bit of
need to take a
metaphor
step
there.
back there, and Evan needs to clarify. You look like you were about to say something. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I sure would like you to explain your way out of us having to go in the woods. Not being your fault.
I feel no guilt from killing that person.
I didn't say any guilt. I'm just saying why we're here.
You know,
The guilt doesn't come in until one of us dies because of it. That's when the guilt kicks in. Don't worry.
no. That person was attacking us. And
Not when he was running away, you fuck.
You know what? We were getting shot by fireballs from people that I couldn't see, so I don't.
Not by the dickhead that was running away.
Nope.
We could have talked our way out of it. However, I do have to say, Adrin made a pretty badass move, and we all followed. So
We did exactly what was necessary, given the fucking shit sandwich that Grizz fed the rest of us.
Nope. I feel nope.
We're not talking about guilt.
Easily as we anticipate, even if Chris didn't kill that
It's
dude.
the end
All right.
of the world.
So back in the game.
So as you guys notice, this dragon wraps around you now to your left, in this case, left on the screen, or to the west, and does a slow corkscrew, coming back in, turning towards the east, once again below you. Come on.
They may be hiding. We're not.
Ooh, I see him down there. He's to the
Slowly getting lower and lower. It's 150 feet up. 100 feet up, or 100 foot up.
I'm gonna make a break for the
Me
second.
too.
For the
His
second
neck. Perception check.
perception
And
check.
if you're making a break, go and give me a stealth check if you want to sneak up there.
Yeah, no.
Anything to do with
I want
stealth.
to try and sneak up under this next tree. I'll still be.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
But
I want to try
you
to.
riding your horse up?
yeah. For now.
An 8? You fucking tried to sneak up. Oh, you had a 5 earlier. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, he's actually being more stealthy.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Who?
Adrian, did you say you were going to do something too?
No. I'm gonna hold.
Performance check. I don't know what you're trying to do with the dragon. Rook, you are eagle-eyed in right now. You see him flying. You see his head is generally facing in this direction here. However, it appears to be one of his massive eyes is staring directly at you as you head to the south. See corkscrews coming down 75 feet, 50 feet, 25 feet. He's going to land directly on this cliffside here, which sits up about 10 feet tall.
Whisper.
Facing.
Spread out.
Yeah, no, that's. Is he looking like he's looking at us here?
Hold on, let me confirm everybody's who he sees specifically.
I would like to dismount.
So the people hidden are Griswold and Frank are hidden. Thea is not. Adrin, Griswold and Griswold are hidden. From what you can tell, he does not see you, Adrin. You see him looking almost past you, off in this distance behind you. You see him glancing this way and that. This one his eyes are kind of scanning from Amrook to Althea equivalency.
We didn't get a long rest.
No,
Correct.
we did not.
You see him.
We're
his
about to
eyes
get
are
the
kinda
longest
glazing
rest.
Like this.
I wish. I'm gonna go back and clip this and just zoom in on Keegan's face there.
No longer listening to Adrin is ideas. Just throwing that.
All right. Who's getting ready to do something? Adrin, you wanted to do something, you said? Before?
Oh no, I wanted to dismount.
Okay, you are dismounted then.
Can I just turn tail and can I start running away?
I am.
You certainly can.
Because he sees me, correct? Like the only one that's hidden is really like Adrin. Like he knows I'm there.
Yeah, and somehow
He is looking past Adrian. You kind of see him. He's glancing over top of Adrian in this. You see him scanning this vicinity, and he's only turning his head from here to about here, from these couple tree lines. So you don't know who or what he sees. As he lands, you see him. He feels like he looks directly in your direction as he glances over. So during this momentary pause here, I'm just letting you guys talk. So only a few seconds are going by in game time. But what were you guys saying? Somebody else was saying something. He dismounted. Warwick was getting ready to turn tail and run.
Oh, God. Fuck me. Yeah.
All right.
On that note,
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Do it.
You just hear Adrian go, take him down, and I'm just gonna go, yeah, real loud, and I am going to just start coming this way and then coming back around this way, hoping to catch his attention.
Okay. And so as you yell that, let's everyone pause, and as you yell, take him down and run, roll for initiative.
Fuck me.
Fuck yes.
He landed, you said, correct?
Did land, yeah. You're sitting 10 feet up here on this cliffside. Hold on, sorry, let me get the initiative order up. Clear it out, 1 second. Wasn't planning for an initiative. All right.
Wasn't planning for a TPK.
He knows we're there, so.
Mm-hmm.
I rolled a 19 previously. I'm just since you cleared it.
Yeah, I
19. Okay. Here you are. Oh, sorry, you're already in the turn order then, Chris. Not bad.
Yeah, can you take my horse out?
Sure can. We got Althea's horse too, but not an Althea.
Oh, you might have my horse as well. No, maybe not.
No, we got a Siddle. A Siddle,
Okay.
an Amrook, an Adrin, a Griswold, an Althea's horse. We are missing no, we got an Amrook. Adrin.
Althea's horse is actually my initiative. Like, I actually clicked on the horse, but it was my initiative.
21. I'm going to add you in, Ash, and make you a 21 then.
Okay.
Right? Is that everyone? Frank? Well, who are we missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, we're missing a Warwick. But what have you rolled? Just jump 12. Okay, let me get you on there, Warwick.
Time to nut up or shut up.
Dude, I'm so excited for this.
Right. Beautiful. Adrian, I'm going to take your initial move there as a surprise round. You began moving. Did you want to do any more movements since that is your surprise round in which you for your action, you yell, "Get them, boys," and then take off? Actually, I will say that was you kept it under the word count, so you would get an action if you wanted it.
Yeah, let me see what the speed of the horse is. 60 feet. So I went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, and I'm going to double move. 65, 70, 75. No, I'm going to. No, I'm not. I'm going to hold right here. And actually, that's my movement. I'm going to. Oh man. I'm glad I took that long rest because I got some spells back.
If anyone wants to go further to the left, I can move the entirety of the map. Just let me know beyond Amrook. Just work off screen and adjust. But I want that to limit you.
Kind of wish I would have added some more hit die now.
It doesn't matter. It's all ogre now.
There we go. I will take my full movement, go to there, bonus action, cast Shillelagh.
Okay.
That's awesome. All right.
All right, so that is the surprise round for Adrian. So we now head into actual initiative order. Althea, you get to go first.
I'm thinking.
That's okay. Go ahead. Think. Get the group killed.
I have to fix my spell casting because it doesn't have anything in there.
What do you mean it doesn't have anything in there as far as?
I don't know what my what ability I use, so I don't have like a DC or anything.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hold on.
For rogue?
You do not have a DC set. As a trickster rogue, I think dexterity.
Might be intelligence.
Nate says intelligence.
Okay, you were right. Intelligence.
12 and 4.
It's worth a shot. It's a green dragon. It's not. It's probably smart, but.
Here's some metagaming going on over there.
Definitely.
So that's so 8 plus your spellcasting modifier plus your proficiency. So 8 plus your intelligence.
Yeah, it's only one.
Plus 2. So 10 plus your spellcasting modifier. So 10 plus your intelligence. So your intelligence is what, plus 1?
Yeah.
So 11 is your spell DC.
Oh, why does it say 12 on mine then?
All right, we'll go with 12. I'll figure it out later, but I'll give you the bonus.
I don't know. It did it for me. I didn't do it.
Okay, if it did it, it knows something I don't. You at a 3 proficiency now. Hey, bring up your character sheet. Come on, roll 20. Taking you so much love and you don't return it. I'm going to take control of your sheet here real quick. Yep, you got a 3 proficiency bonus, that's why. Have it back now. We're at 12.
Taking over my character sheet.
And it loads now. Cool. And Rook, you were the only one that I don't have a spell DC for.
It's because I don't
Makes sense.
cast spells.
Try it.
To you.
Alright. Nathan says try this and summon a gold dragon to try to scare it.
And where are you summoning it, and what is that gold dragon doing?
Gold dragon will be summoned. Oh, hold on. I'm on my little mousey thingy. Right here?
You.
We'll do it here.
Okay.
What about there?
Put it there, you said?
Do you want to the other? Yeah, just pretty much. It's not gonna be very big though, because it says a 5-foot cube.
It's gonna be a little baby gold dragon.
Yes, you can put a baby gold dragon out there.
Baby dragon.
I mean, we can attempt. I don't know how scary a 5-foot cube is gonna be, but sure.
Right. So as you cast a spell, he's got his eye on you. Suddenly, out of the cliffside, just appears out of the shadows. So it almost looks like he crawls off of the rock. This small 5-foot baby gold dragon now comes out, and you hear a little as it attempts to roar from the cliffside.
Baby dragon.
Just
What
to
else up here?
clarify, does Warwick have portent rolls left?
Oh no, I think I have a 14.
You have one.
You
I have a 14.
you used your 20. You have a 14 available. Yes.
That doesn't
I have
help.
3 lucky rolls too.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, Althea. Anything else?
Shit.
Know it.
Hey, this
Is that
I ran
this
away.
dragon's
Oh god, I
this
forgot my
dragon-
person.
this dragon was smaller than the other one that we were going to face.
Mm-hmm.
So
correct? It is a tinier dragon compared to what you'd seen previously or dreamt of, or
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. We'll
It was the 5-foot dragon that was just summoned.
Now the rest of you can assume, but you're not 100% sure that this gold dragon did not just come out of cliffside, unless you make. In fact, everyone, go ahead and make me a. We're going to see if you fall for it as well. Who knows that this is not a actual dragon? Can make me an intelligence save.
Oh, and sorry, I did.
Good.
That 20.
oh, I have disadvantage on.
I rolled a nat one.
All right, we'll get. Yeah. So you guys save. So Grizz and Amra, you two are not entirely sure that this is not in cahoots. You just saw a gold dragon appear on the cliffside, and now you're thinking, shit, there are 2 dragons. That one is a very small baby, though. It is gold. I do not know what that means.
I tell Grizz.
You were thrown
"Go for
off
the
by
little
this more than
one."
anything else.
Only if it's running away, though.
Right, Althea, you took off. Are you behind your horse? Are you still on your horse, and are you moving? What do you want to do?
So my horse. Am I able to hide? Gosh darn it! Hold on.
You can try and hide at disadvantage.
That's my disadvantage song. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Does he get the 7-10 split? Is the question.
Oh my gosh! All right. You seem to find a pretty good nook behind a tree that fits both you and your horse perfectly.
Stupid
Okay.
dragons.
Griswold, you were up.
I'm going to use my action to dismount Frank. I'm going to put, and I'm going to telepathically tell Frank to guard the Weevil. Can I would you allow me to shove him down by a tree, just give him a little boom so he sits down and Frank's snarling at him?
I'll allow that during your dismount.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Bound, basically arms all the way down to his feet. So unless he's hopping away, he should.
Is it?
He's bound. Yeah, he's bound from.
This thing is wrapped around him. This is the magic rope that is all the way around him and knotted up.
I didn't know it was down to his feet. I was
down east the whole way. It's like a big.
You guys have 50-foot of rope that you're utilizing.
Oh, all right. Yeah, Frank's just gonna sit there and watch him, and that's it. That's all I can do.
Perception check for Frank then to watch.
Uh, 18.
Okay, perfect. I'll carry that through the battle then. Any movement you want to take?
Nope.
And rook? Nope.
Actually, I'm gonna do. If I move, I have to redo my stealth roll, though. Correct?
Yeah, wherever you would finish up, if you attempt to rehide.
Nope, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit there.
Okay. Rook.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 60. That is the movement with the horse. Then can I go ahead and take my action to leap using my boots off of the horse? Athletics, something along those
I
lines.
was gonna say, yeah, give me an athletics check for that. Athletics or acrobatics, whatever you prefer. I should say that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, you succeed. You're able to get a good leap off of him.
All
And you
right.
kick up onto your seat, get onto his back, and then leap from there.
All right, and then just leap down there and kind of tuck into the bushes, since I know he already saw me. So.
Okay. A flying dwarf is difficult to hide.
Yeah, I'm assuming I can't be stealth, so that'll be it for me.
I mean, you can certainly try to hide in your final spot, but he knows the vicinity in which you landed.
Right. He may not know which bush I'm behind, so all right, I'll take that.
Okay.
He's pretty high intelligence. He probably knows, but nonetheless, that'll end my turn.
All right. So he seems taken aback by your rapid conflict. He looks over at this gold green dragon sitting right here. You see his head whip towards it as it appears. He glares at it, and his neck moves forward. Then you hear a, "Huh." You're not sure if it's a cough. You're not sure if it's a what it is. Almost appears to be a chuckle to an extent. You then see him begin to take off again as he lifts off the ground. Moves. As he lifts, he is going to go here. We're going to go. Yeah, he's just caught sight of him. Just hovering just over the ground right now.
Been nice knowing you, boys.
As he hovers, beating down, the bushes kind of spread as his wings come over top of this. You see the leaves kicking off the brush as Amrook, tucked in the distance, suddenly parts. And as he comes down, he attempts to just claw. You see him rip with his claws as he's coming down to the ground. First attack is going to be an 21 to hit.
Do I also get my... How far is he up?
He is actually just above you now. He is only about 5 feet above you at the moment.
All right, so we clarified last time that I would take Tunnel Fighter as my bonus action.
Good. Yep.
All right.
You called it all time. All time hit.
So I'm assuming yes, that hits, but do I get my my opportunity attack?
You do, because he is within 15. He is within 5. He is within 5 feet for his claw attack. So you get your tunnel attack.
Okay.
Tunnel fighter attack.
All right, then I'm gonna hit Giant Slayer at him. I'm also gonna use a superiority die.
Oh baby.
Superiority die.
First one will hit.
Hold on. Superiority die with the maneuver. Looking for it. Yeah, we're gonna go evasive fighter. Because he's still on the ground, right?
5 feet in the air, but you still get it because he's in 5 feet. He's just hovering at this point.
So I will roll my superiority die. Which we decided was a d6, correct, for evasive footwork?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll add 3 onto mine. It's a 19 armor class. So my hit, and then he hits, so. Because even with the 3 boost to my evasive footwork, still only puts me at 19. You rolled a 21, you said, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I hit and then he hit. He hits a little harder than mine, though.
I guess you can use this. No reason you couldn't use that. You've already moved. I'll allow that. So yeah, you're boosted to 19 right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So he will still hit. Coming down. You suddenly get extremely nimble, very quick. You were fast on your feet, but he tries to reach down, scrape you, and almost grab onto you. He manages to grab onto your shoulder. You feel 3 of his talons just rip into your shoulder blade underneath the bone before he pulls off. Not able to lift you up quite, but he's not going to come down and attempt to grab onto you again. 25 to hit.
How
25, you
much
said?
damage did he?
9 points on the first one.
Okay.
12 points on the second one as he attempts to grab onto you again. This time, once again, just grabbing under the collarbone. Not quite able to. His talons actually drip straight up your collarbone, putting a gash on that and your upper back. So in this case, he can't quite claw you. You're too fast, too strong. He's now coming down. You see his massive neck ripping around, attempting to bite into your side. And 22 to hit.
Son of a
12
bitch.
points of 12 points of piercing damage as he just gets a chunk out of the side by your ribs, ripping that out on the left-hand side there, opposite of where he just clawed onto it.
Wait, how much damage was it again?
That was so 9, 12, and 12, all slashing. Sorry, so 9 slashing, 12 slashing, 12 piercing with the bite.
Piercing, yeah. Here.
Okay. And with that, he is going to slowly rise up and gain some height. So you do get an opportunity attack again. Because that was not a reaction before.
Correct. Well, because of Tunnel Fighter, it doesn't count.
You get you get unlimited anyways.
Yep. I did hit it. Give a sec. There it is. No.
And that does not hit. Okay. And he is going to go 40 feet up in the air.
All right.
Directly up above your head. And that is the end of his turn. Frank, you're up.
Frank's just going to snarl at the Weevil, and that's it. He's just going to watch him.
Give me an intimidation check.
First, okay. That's charisma, right?
Strength.
Intimidation, yeah, charisma. Frank purrs at him.
I thought intimidation was strength.
Frank licks his butt.
Nope. Intimidation is a charisma.
It is
You can use it.
situational. It's
That's what I'm saying, you can
situational,
use-
Carl.
Okay.
You can attempt to use at DM's discretion strength, like if you're trying to a show of strength, kind of like
Right.
breaking
Okay. Makes sense.
breaking something
So-
over. Yeah,
Frank was growling, so he was
Yeah,
using a
makes
verbal intimidation.
That
You know,
makes
if
sense.
Frank decided to flex, I would have given him a strength.
He's bouncing his pecs. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
That's exactly it. You know, he puffs his chest a little bit, bounces the pecs.
All right, so Frank's going to purr at him and just sit there and laugh because he's bound anyways. So that's fine. And that's all he's going to do.
All right, Warwick, you're up.
I'm still on my horse, right? So how much movement
You
do I have on
are.
the horse?
The
60.
horse has 60 feet plus your dash if you wanted to, so 120 is what you could utilize. You get forego your action.
Yeah, I don't want to forego my action. Definitely don't want to do that. All right, I'm going to, let's see, where does this get me? All right, that's 40 movement. Dude, this guy has a legendary feat. I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna cast suggestion.
Motherfucker.
All right, DC 14, and you are going to suggest.
Question. So if they roll a 14, do they save?
Yes, that is the minimum that they need to hit to save.
And I don't have anything to knock that out. All right, well, he's just going to have to roll, and let's hope he gets under a 14. But I'm going to suggest that he flies away as far as possible. And as fast as possible. Just keeps flying, goes. And
That is
then
a
14 to save.
Wisdom save. Wow.
that is a roll of 13. He chooses to succeed. You see him slowly start to drip his head, and his wings come out. Or he shakes it off and looks back at you, and you see him
Legendary
glare
feat,
in your
brother.
direction.
It's a dragon.
All dragons have legendary feats.
Not all.
No.
You said this one was small and immature. Well, immature-ish, right? I took
Immature-ish.
smaller dragon. God, I tried.
Not that immature, apparently.
Yeah, immature, and that means he has 3 of them.
So that
This
means,
one's
that means we're
It could
facing
be
we're
homebrew.
facing
We don't
an
know.
adult green dragon.
Not necessarily.
We do not know.
So what'd you roll? Did you roll a 13? What'd you roll?
I rolled a 13, yeah.
You rolled a 13? Well, on that note, I am going to, let's see, 5, 10, 15.
Young dragons don't have legendary.
What the hell is
Ooh.
that sound?
You
Yeah,
guys hear
well-
that?
Yeah.
It's only when Evan talks.
Evan, if you're using a mic, unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, your
Like
mic.
an external mic.
That's all I got.
I like that Evan was coming across there as an old school rotary phone.
We were just getting some feedback, that's all.
Kind of hoping it was an old school rotary phone.
Try to.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, you're good now.
Am I the only one that doesn't Discord doesn't reconnect for? Oh, I'm still going through the web app. I forgot I have it through my phone or my desktop now. Let me refresh really quickly.
Well, I tried.
If they have legendary actions, that means it's an adult, and we are screwed.
Not necessarily. It could be homebrewed. It could be something that Garrett came up with to. So he might have rolled that it has 1 legendary action.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, just an FYI, we'll take a metagaming here moment. So this is a very well-studied group that likes to dive into knowledge as just your personalities inquire. And so I try to add a little bit of flair or adjustment to every monster you face that is not directly off of the scorecard. I allow the rolls to dictate what it has and does not have sometimes. So rarely will it be a 1-to-1 from what you look up these days. That was not true for the first year of this campaign, in which I strictly followed the stats. Now you get a little bit of everything.
All I'm saying is it's straight up shit that they have legendary feats.
Kills your magic bullet. The dice were not in your favor there, but not as against you as they could have been.
We just got a really big claw machine to kill, that's all.
Well, that is it for me. I moved. I'm good.
Okay. Real quick, let me. Yep. Nope. Syl, you're up.
All right. Really quick, sort of out of game question here.
Please.
Is there really any disadvantage to me fighting on horseback?
No, not from your standpoint, other than the ability to be stealthful, and since you're not melee or ranged, you're spellcasting. No, not really.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing something, but
It's just, you can't really hide.
yeah, which I think that's kind of out of the bag anyway. So, I'm gonna fire off a Chromatic Orb of cold type to try and hit our dragon friend there. Come on, there you go. Oh yeah, nat 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ouch.
Rolled shit for damage. Though.
Yeah.
All right, so your damage was 161.
Ones.
Did it roll 20? Just re-roll the d8 for the crit.
It automatically adds in a specific amount based on the crit if you have that toggled on. So we usually ignore the second part and just double the dice.
That's what I thought. I was just trying to remember how I pulled that out. So 16 to damage, essentially what you got.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you fire in the chromatic orb, this 4-inch diameter sphere that takes on this blue crystal-like appearance. As soon as it leaves your hands, fires off, catching the dragon right in the neck. You see it just kind of you see its head swing over as it does so. The frost eating away its neck momentarily. You see a light black that starts to form there. It's almost a gray where it seems to be a level of frostbite as he takes 16 points of damage.
All right, and that will conclude my turn.
All right, Reed, you're up.
All right. Now, I'm going to assume you're going to give it to me, but I just want to make sure. If I hit a shot, do I still get sneak attack? Because technically he's hovering over Amrook.
I will still give it to you because he has now lost interest in you because he is still near Amrook within a 5-foot general vicinity, even though he's 45 foot over, and you have attempted to hide. So yes, I will give it to you. It is not raw, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay wouldn't like that.
It's fucking raw.
Donut. An idiot sandwich. So I guess that's the only option here. I'm gonna attempt to hit with my short bow.
All right.
$16 to hit.
That will not hit. Wait. That will not hit.
Oh, Bambrook.
Arrow releases right as it gets hit with this there's this diameter sphere, this chromatic orb, and as he whips his head out of the way, it shoots past his neck.
Well, who's dying today? Don't worry, Amrook will save you.
I'm gonna get away from this very flammable brush. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Can I attempt to hide?
So at what point did you dismount?
I dismounted before everything started.
Okay.
As
I got it, sure.
Yeah, as Adrian.
Your horse is still hanging out there then?
Yeah, blue might turn a little charred, but it's fine.
Right.
Or he might get picked off. You know, who knows? Blue might see better days here soon. It's fine.
All right. Intent to hide. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. All right. You successfully hide.
That's it.
Yes. I spoke a little. Okay. Adrian, you're up.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 40, 45, 50. Bonus action, cure or healing word, 3rd level on
the horse.
On the horse. Where's that? Healing word, cast my last 3rd level. for 13 points of healing towards Amrook.
Thank you, sir.
Um, and then I'm going to cast cantrip. That was my mouse. There it is. Which is I'm going to do frostbite on the dragon. He needs to make a Constitution save.
He does not save.
He takes 8 points of damage, and his next attack is at disadvantage.
Right, as you put together this spell and rip it out, you see this skin cold blast of snow and ice rip in his direction where the frostbite already exists. Except this time you aim a little bit lower towards the wings, and you see his wings slowly just frost over and turn blue as he tries to crack off the ice but fails to do so and gets a little bit slower. So you said with that he takes 18 points of damage?
Eight. Just 8
damage.
And
Okay.
then I'm going to use the last bit of my movement. 5, 10 to go to get there. No. To go back where I was at. I'm going to go right there. That is my turn.
All right. All right, Althea, you're up.
Well, I was still on disadvantage. 16, which I know doesn't hit.
Does not hit. You're right.
Alright, but I do have to go back into hiding. So. Oh, well. Cool beans.
That will succeed.
Alright, that's all I got.
All right, so firing the short bow off, catching him right in the wing, in the upper portion, right where you think the equivalent of the arm is, holding this flat, this skin, stretched skin of wing, and you see it catch. And you hear him yelp a little bit as you do so. How much damage was that? That was
the attack misses.
you missed. That's right. Then yeah, it flew just over his arm. Sorry, I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt there. No luck.
Tried.
And does that get rid of your illusion now?
That's 1 minute.
Okay, so it lasts the entirety of the battle. It's hanging out over there.
Yep.
You're not moving it at all, so you just got a gold dragon overseeing the battle at the moment.
Yep.
All right, so as it misses, you see him clap. All right. Anything else for Althea?
No, that's all.
You fade off into the distance. All right, good. Griswold, you're up.
Griswold's going to cast Command.
Okay.
And he's going to hopefully tell the dragon to flee. DC 12.
As a wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
All right. Attempting to have him flee. That is an 18. You see him momentarily fog over before he once again shakes it off and glares in your general direction, sensing where it came from.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20. Griswold's going to come out of the works and just stare at him.
All right. That is now everyone that was hidden, but now Reed and Althea are hidden. Okay, good. Amrook, you're up.
Uh,
Do you have something else, Griswold?
No. Go ahead.
You sure?
Nope. We're good. We're good.
Okay. I would like. You said he's about 40 feet in the air. I'd like to jump up on top of
Is-
this mofo's back.
Oh
Right.
man.
Go ahead and give me either an acrobatics. Give me an acrobatics.
Before I do that, I want to reach down the pouch of dirt that I have on my belt and just say, Gueron, give me some help. And then I'm going to jump up. Acrobatics or
Nice.
athletics?
Oh shit.
I'm gonna have you give me an acrobat. You choose. You can choose on this one.
Okay. Do I get any assistance from Gueron before I roll?
You feel inspired, and you're not sure whether or not it is from the heavens or whether it is just because you feel that presence yourself and that you are now connected to somebody. But one way or the other, you feel a great level of inspiration, and you have advantage on the roll.
Nice.
I was really hoping, like, nope, Gueron's nowhere to be found.
There's a 50-50 shot that was going to happen. That's the way math works. I learned that.
You know, it might not be Gueron. It's just
Yeah,
like you,
50, that's 50-50.
placebo effect.
Oh,
It either works or it doesn't.
The placebo effect
So
advantage is
I
what it
can
is.
jump over 50 feet up in the air. So I could go up above him and come down on him. However you want to do that, I rolled a 12.
You can. I will say that you have reached him. You are in his vicinity, and you are attempting to grapple. I
I'm
will
trying
allow
to
you
land
an
on his back. I don't want to try and like hold him or anything.
Right,
Because
hold
I'm
on.
gonna
give
come
him
down
an-
and swing next.
Got it. I thought you might want to hit midair. You were able to land on his back. He attempts to duck out of the way, but lands directly underneath you, and you are now on his back.
nice.
All right, that's what I was going for. So we're gonna take a swing with the Giant Slayer. 20 to hit.
That will hit.
All right, I'm gonna use another superiority die. This one's gonna be. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat. A trip attack.
Trip attack.
I'm just gonna let you know, Carl. I'm gonna try
I would
to
also
command
like to brace myself if this works.
Carl. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna try to command him to flee again with you on his back.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm gonna
All
shoot
right.
Grizz in the back of the head.
I was
It is
really hoping the
large.
flea didn't work before, because like that completely messes up this whole plan.
Okay, so we just talked about this, but you're going to need a spell DC.
I think so. For trip attack, it is. Hold on. The trip is my. Oh, I forget what it is now. Hold on.
And I don't know either. First time we're utilizing this.
What a string.
Yeah, it's a. He has to do a.
A strength save.
But what's it against? I forget. I know it's my proficiency. I think it's plus my
Okay,
strength.
so it is the same as the spell DC. So it is your DC of your maneuver, so it's an 8, plus your proficiency bonus, plus either your strength or dex modifier. In this case, it'll be your strength. So
Right, so 14.
plus proficiency plus strength.
Yeah, 14.
14. Okay, so he needs to make that as a strength saving throw.
Carl, is that an extra 8 points of damage?
Yes, it gets added on there as well.
That is a 15 to save.
All right, I'm taking my second swing.
All right, so wait, so 14 points of damage on the first swing, though, as you come
Correct.
into his back, right?
Yep.
All right.
Ooh.
The second one doesn't hit, I assume.
Now he is flailing all over the place now, and you are struggling to get a good grip on the axe, and you missed.
We're taking 2 more.
All right.
17 hit.
And that flailing, you start to get a grip on it. You get your feet wrapped around you. You grip his leg strong, coming down. You almost hit, but just slice off the side of the neck. Can't quite connect.
All right. Last swing. 22 to hit.
Finally, you get your poise and get a good position, and you come down square on the back.
All right.
13 points of damage.
And that'll be my turn.
Very nice.
I am now on a dragon's back.
Right.
Oh, Carl, can I ask how you got 4 attacks?
The 2 original attacks plus action surge. Did
Oh,
I
your
not-
action surge. Got
Oh,
it. Okay.
I'm sorry. I clicked extra attack. I meant to click action surge.
Got it.
My fault.
Got it. I was like, what? Okay,
Action
cool.
surge.
Cool. I got it.
Okay. Got it.
Nice round.
I was hoping to bring him down.
Do we see his health bar yet?
No.
Not yet.
No.
We're about to.
Okay.
Are you still on him?
Yes.
He is. He is currently
So he can
riding this
fly
I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. I want to make
No,
sure I
he
didn't miss
definitely
miss a
fly away
dismount.
right now. Nope. No dismount.
Son of a bitch. How would we do that? How am I going to rule this one?
I figure he can't come at me with his claws if I'm on his back.
This is true.
I mean, he could try and shake me, but
So you're on him right now.
I'll take
He
that
is
contested
taking
strength
off
throw.
with you on it.
All right.
He is flying to the north. You are riding this thing out.
Nice. I'm a Targaryen,
He
baby.
is sweeping downward. At the moment, actually, so he's going to.
Just call me Jon Snow, because I ride dragons.
He's going to loop around, and he's going to temporarily peek back to you, and you almost see a grin on his face as he's ripping towards the ground, wanting you to see this before he unleashes this exhalation of poisonous gas directly in front of you.
Those the horsies.
It's gonna look like some flame, but what this actually is acid damage. I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw.
Do I?
Shit.
Since he's like directly above me and it's casting out, do I?
Well, he's kind of swept down. He's only a few feet above the ground now. He's about 5 feet, and he's unleashing it from there.
I like that he looked back there at me. Proud.
So that's Warwick, Siddle, Reed.
No, that's my horse.
No Reed, just a Warwick Philadelphia.
I'm gonna use one of my 3 lucky rolls to re-roll.
Right.
13. I doubt that's gonna do anything, but all right, that's it.
You guys are all fucked.
Is a DC 14.
It says the
Do
meat
you want me to roll?
decided to stay stealthy.
Yes.
She's like, I'm not walking up there because I'm stealthy.
Wait,
Hey.
hold on. I'm literally in the open. What do you mean?
Oh, hold on. I have a +1.
Your first turn.
So
What should I roll for my
You have a
horse?
+1?
I do have a +1 because I have that little lucky thing.
You do have a +1, so with your lucky roll, you will save and only take half damage.
Thank God. Okay. I'll take 45 hit points of damage.
So that is going to be. Nope, that's it.
Oof.
Oh, what's
Oof.
Right, so
My ass.
44 points of damage for anyone that failed, and 22 Warwick. With that, the acid slowly fades away. Unfortunately, Warwick's horse is no more. Blue is now pure black as he is charred.
I saw that coming.
And this horse just got Althea's horse just got a name of Captain. Captain is now singed.
Be nice to Captain.
They've now gone to the glue factory in the sky.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
That?
Did you just kill Captain?
I didn't. I didn't ride into battle with Captain.
I just named the horse and you already killed it.
No, you killed it.
Never named the
I
horse.
didn't kill it.
That's what happens when you.
You wrote it there.
Just say Griswold killed it.
You can lead a horse to battle, but you can't make him survive the acid dragon attack. I think that's how that goes.
I've definitely heard that before.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Rude.
I'm sorry. What do you want to do? You got a dwarf on his back. You guys attacked without even listening to hear what he had to say. What are you gonna do?
Give me a moment.
Name the next horse, Captain Junior.
Sorry, I forgot to get rid of Siddle's horse too. There are 4 horses down.
Siddle, are you down?
I'm down.
Oh.
I will say this: we didn't attack before the dragon.
He came at me first.
Yeah.
This is true. This is very true.
That's the only defense I got. That's
Make an excellent point there. I'll give you that one. All right, and let's see, he has used. He has 10 more points of motion, so he is going to go up. He is now 15 feet in the air.
15. Okay.
Yep, 15 feet in the air. His turn is over. Frank.
Frank's just gonna maintain purring at the Weevil. That'll be it.
Okay. Warwick.
Good bejesus.
I gotta do that. I gotta flip that one.
You know what? Fuck it. How many legendary feats can this guy have, right?
Wow.
We're gonna cast Magician.
he's got at
All
least
right.
2 feet. That's all I know.
Wisdom saving throw.
I'm gonna tell him to toss the dwarf on a tree and fly away as far and as fast as possible.
And that is a natural 16 to natural 15 plus 1 to save. So he does not need to dip into his legendary feats. He manages to shake off your. He knows what to expect now. He's felt it come through. He is preparing himself for these mental attacks, and he shrugs it off.
In that case, I'm gonna do. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna move here and end my turn.
Does not spark an opportunity attack. Did you want to try to hide behind that tree, or you just getting out of the way?
Yeah, I'll try to hide.
Okay, give me stealth.
I'll give you one of these bad boys.
I guess you don't have. Never mind. You don't have a bonus action to hide. My mistake. That's all right. You can see me anyways. You're good.
So I'm just gonna stand there and wave because he knows where I'm at.
All right. Nothing there. Siddle, you are up. First saving throw.
Yeah.
No, not once. It'd be okay.
There's a fail.
That's a failed saving throw. Siddle now has 1. You see him spasming a little bit on the ground, a step closer towards death. Reed, you're up.
Oh yeah,
You are currently
man.
hidden.
Yep. All right. Question.
All right.
I assume he's gonna see the arrow.
He's distracted. The arrow's fast, and he doesn't expect you over there since you're hidden. So
No,
it is unlikely that he would.
Okay.
Get sneak attack. I'm on his back.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That I'm not worried about you at the moment. As much as we've been a team here, I sure would like to leave this encounter alive. If I got to walk back, that's what we're gonna do. So yeah, I'm gonna attempt to hit him with the short bow.
Right now, I would say normally he would, if you hit, he would feel it and kind of look in your general direction and have an idea. However, because you have the numbing short bow, he does not feel that pain. He suddenly feels drained, so he would even less know where the arrow came from.
That's why I was trying to gauge on how aware, like how intent he was on the other group.
Yeah, and this is simultaneously. Basically, as he's ripping this acid out, arrows coming through in real time, split sections. So you would actually have the benefit of the fog cloud. In fact, the acid cloud. So it's kind of piercing through that acid cloud.
I'm gonna apologize for this, Carl, because this is gonna be a nat one. It was damn close, but it wasn't.
Yes, it was. But you would have had a lucky, so you're okay.
Yeah,
You got the
exactly.
lucky feat. But,
Halfling.
but Amrook, you suddenly feel an arrow whiz by your head, almost brushes by your beard, and you see one small hair just kind of start to drizzle down.
At least if I hit you, you wouldn't have felt it.
You maintain your hidden, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back. Is it? I'll re-roll if I have to, but if I'm staying like roughly in the same tree,
I'll give you that one too. Since you move within 5 feet under the same tree, right after that, I'll give you the hidden, the stealth.
oh shit! I guess that's all I got.
All right, Adrian, you're up.
Fuck. Okay.
A little low on spell slots, I imagine.
Well, not so much that. Just that too.
There's a lot.
Okay. I got to do this.
Some people had health potions, right? We gave those out. We took those from Chamb3r.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to cast bonus action healing word on Siddle because we can't have him down. It's just not good. I only can do it at first level though, buddy.
Hey, that's better than nothing.
So, ooh, nice. So you were up to 6. You're up 6.
Yep.
That's my bonus. I'm going to move 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Oh, on my horse. Yeah, fuck, I'm going to do it again. Frostbite.
Okay.
DC 15, Constitution.
That is a 20, unnatural 20 to save.
All right. That's fine.
Manages to, with on high alert, with Amrook on his back, still duck out of the way of your spell as it flies over his shoulder, expecting it this time. Since he's seen it once, knows your hand movement for that one.
And that is all I got.
Okay. So yeah, you're still kicking after the poison attack, but just barely.
I don't want to talk about it.
Poor captain.
I don't want to talk about that either.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Listen, it pains me. I did not want to wipe out 4 horses tonight.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I want to wipe out 6 horses tonight, not 4.
We did it to ourselves.
No, I just spent 2 damn hours creating those freaking horses, by the way. Not my intention to get rid of them. This was a general bonus to the entirety. I thought you guys would dismount and leave them behind, feeling sorry for them now that you could actually see them and name them. I thought there would be a level of attachment there.
Hey, G. Let the record show. I tried to save my horse.
You did. You did. Record shows.
Well, we'll just use it for next time. But stupid dragon.
2 damn hours.
Dragon. Stupid.
I will try. How high?
15 feet.
What's that? I lost there.
How high in the sky?
He is currently 15 feet up.
I want to do then Chromatic Orb, and that was an @1. I'm sorry, whoever's in front of me.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Roll it.
All right.
Oh no.
The damage.
We'll see. Gotta check the chart.
Oh, your arm. Oh, it's with sorry. Your arm cramps as you cast it. You're going to able to perform semantic components to cast spells until the end of your next turn.
What?
Your arm cramped up on that nat 1. So anything that requires movement semantics, so the S in components, while your arm's cramped, you're not able to do it.
Just gonna go in stealth mode.
All right, and you are able to successfully stealth.
Now leave me alone. Beat me up.
You don't have to roll to hit with that.
Those automatically hit.
It was an accident.
Oh. I didn't even mean to do that. Okay.
You didn't mean to do one of magic missiles or to roll for damage?
I was actually trying to add in a description to that. So, the magic missile the wand of magic missile has a certain amount of slots. Now, I have to increase the spell slot to increase the amount of magic missiles. So technically, I can do up to 7 missiles. But do I have to have a 7th level spell slot to I just don't know how that works.
It uses the charges from the wand.
Okay, so I can just shoot 6 or 7 charges if I want to. If I do all 7, there's a potential that it disappears. However that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cast them all and aim for Amrook.
Fuck you, Rook. I'll
Have
do
you
that,
done
knock
enough
you off,
damage
and be
then?
like, Dragon, we're cool. That guy's a fucking idiot.
I like it. I was hoping Amrook would come down and like chop off his head.
No,
You know?
I'm actually going to pull out the wand of magic missile and shoot 7. No, I'm going to do 6. 6 of those at the dragon. So we're going to do 6d4 plus 1.
Visions of the rope fill Amrook's head.
One.
UFC 64 plus 6.
Yeah.
Wait. What was that?
So add 5 more to that. So it's actually 1d4 plus 1 for each dart. So 6d4 plus 6.
Look at you with a couple 4s.
Yeah, that was solid. 3 4s out of the 6. Holy hell. And all 2s and 3s. That was an above average roll. So that is 25 points of automatic damage.
Yeah.
As 6 bolts hurl out in his general direction, pelting all of them. A couple of them coming a little closer to Amrook than he would prefer. Not entirely comfortable with it, but that do it. That'll do it. You can now see his health bar.
Finally see his health.
And
So who's done damage to him so far? The 25 points of damage there, and then Amrook has done.
Amrook did a shitload.
Jump into
Everyone's
Echo
probably got
Chamber. We'll talk
60
about
points.
the stats.
Oh no, I'm just trying to calculate his health.
Grizz is going to. All right. We're gonna see. This is not
What
gonna
are
work.
you stretching for? What?
Grizz is gonna do a compelled duel. Wait. Actually, no. He is 15 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay.
Grab onto his foot. I like it.
I'd have to. I'm gonna move 10. I'm gonna move 10 feet closer. What is it? 15. Hypotenuse. Blah blah blah. We're getting pretty damn close to me being able to cast 30 feet.
So what are you using? You use your action for the wand.
Well, yeah.
You're looking to use a bonus action here?
Yeah, I have a bonus action. I need to make sure I'm getting close enough.
Yeah, so if you're 15 feet, I'll give you that. I haven't calculated it, but
I'm going to go ahead and cast Compelled Duel. Wisdom saving throw, or else he's compelled to beat my ass.
so this is a bonus action, wisdom saving throw. All right. Just making sure I had all the deets in a row. Wisdom saving. So as you cast it out there, preparing for a one-on-one duel with the young green dragon, as a natural 13 plus 1 to save.
1.
Motherfucker.
Dude, this guy's got some rolls tonight.
You know with that spell, Evan, that as we attack it, the spell ends, right?
Yeah.
I'm fully aware, but at least that gives some time to where he's not focused on killing squishy
Except
people.
I'm on his back. And I'm going to attack him next turn.
Yeah, it would literally last not even.
Well,
Yeah.
Just trying to make sure you're aware.
10. I'm using the rest of my movement, and we'll get here, and that'll be it.
There you go.
Okay.
Down. All right.
Good. All right. And Rook from his back.
All right. Gonna go ahead and use a superiority die, and I'm gonna do trip attack again to see if I can get him to fall, and I'm gonna brace myself if he does. So that's 7 points of damage.
And what was it, a 14?
Yeah.
Saving throw 14, we said?
Yep.
Nat 20.
Holy fuck. All right. Cannot bring this motherfucker down, but that's okay.
He's a strong mofo. Yeah, he managed to stay up as you attempt to just you're like, get down.
You still got 7 points of damage.
Yeah, 7 points of damage.
16 on this one,
Yep,
baby.
7 points damage on the first one, 16 on the second one.
Nice.
All right.
And I'll bonus action on my Tunnel Fighter again.
Swinging away from the back, you're just hacking at his back. You see the blood begin pouring off to the side. It's now dripping to the ground. Okay, it's a Tunnel Fighter.
And then,
Anything else?
I mean, I could jump
Yeah.
off, but no, I think I'm better up here.
Hey, Evan, move your character up a square real quick once.
This is about a quarter health.
Okay. All right. Thanks. I just wanted to see.
Oh yeah.
That'll be it. 23 points
All
of
right.
damage. I'll take it.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, that's a shame. With Griswold directly in front of him, he is just heading straight down to him, drops the extra 10 feet. So he is now 5 feet over the ground and attempts to just rip in and bite onto his neck. That is going to be a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Gripping onto your neck up through your shoulder blade and down to the shoulder blade and in. That is 17 points of piercing damage as he lets go and pulls out again, knowing you're too large to lift up, and instead kind of rotates his body so that his feet are near you, and he comes through to slash across your chest with his claws. Will not hit. 18 to hit. Just missing with his first slash attack as he comes across your chest. Instead, ripping across a second time. Does not even come close to hitting that time. Thrown off by Amlok's attempt to cut him from behind, missing both of his claw attacks. So only the 17. And he is going to... He's going to fly up again.
Oh,
But because he is within 5 feet, you get an opportunity attack.
please, Lord.
Are you gonna do what I think you're gonna do?
He's
No,
gonna
because I
attack him.
can't.
He is sentinel. He has a feet. I'm within 5 feet as well. If he hits, the dragon can't move.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
That is a hit.
Fucking A. 11. So he
Nice
can't
job.
move. So he's still within 5 feet of me.
He is within 5 feet, yes. So he is hovering 5 feet above the ground now. Took an additional 11 points of piercing damage.
Gonna spit in his face.
And
Fucker. All right. He wants
that's it.
to
His
play.
turn's over.
He wants to play hardball.
Frank's up.
He's been playing hardball this whole time.
Frank's maintaining on the Weevil.
Right. Warwick.
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm going to cast.
Hey, Coral, if he tries to attack you, I can help you out now. Wait.
I'm
No,
well,
never mind. Never
I'm
mind.
gonna walk out here so he knows where I'm at. I'm gonna cast message on the dragon.
Right.
What?
And I'm gonna say, "You done fucked up. You sure you don't want to give up?" And kind of chuckle, kind of fucking with him at this point. And then I'm gonna use a bonus action to cast.
Keegan or Warwick's kind of an asshole. I like it. Awesome.
I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Grizzy Grizz. So
Ooh.
it's only 4 points of healing, but do it again, dude.
Griswold's just gonna give you a thumbs up.
Cool. That is my turn.
All right. All right. Good. Sybil, you're up.
He doesn't
All
reply
right.
back to my message, does he? Or is he gonna reply back on his turn?
You see a look of panic in his eyes. He's not able to reply yet. It happens too quickly.
How high off the ground is he?
He's only 5 feet at the moment,
Okay.
within reach.
I'm gonna cast Fireball
Yes! Yes!
on the dragon, of course, sparing Amrook, and I guess going just south of Griswold. But I want it to be close enough that Grizz really feels the heat.
You're gonna take out a horse too, by the way.
I'm gonna spare the horse as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do 3 creatures, right?
Yes, and I'm gonna do it at cast at 4th level.
Oh boy.
God damn it.
33.
All right, and that is a dex saving throw.
Yes, sir.
Does not naturally save, but he will certainly
Motherfucker.
choose to, using his legendary resistance to save for 15 points of damage.
16, right?
That?
Yeah.
It's 33 points total.
Oh, 30. I missed that. Yes, thank you. 16.
Yep.
16 points of damage. That's into him pretty good. He is now with that frostbite that exists before, as the fireball just unleashes and wraps around him, singeing Griswold and Namrook pretty good as it craps around them. You see he is hurt. He is blackened and charred at this point. He's kind of, while he was very dexterous before and elegant as he was flying before, now you see him jerking a little bit, just struggling to hold himself afloat for the most part. He's hurt. Anything else for Siddle?
Nope, that will do it.
Adrian, you're up.
No, Reed's up.
Reed, sorry. I already hit once. Reed, you are still hidden?
Yep. Just making sure. All right. Just want to make sure I'm not out of range. Just doing a quick discount double check.
Not a sponsor yet.
Jeez. Just leave me in the trees. Chalk it. Adrian, go ahead.
He does not see it come through, though, flying over his underneath his belly this time, missing by a good foot and a half.
Whizzes through my beard again, and I'm like, are you trying to hit me or the dragon?
Dragon, he's nuts.
Ew.
All right, Adrian.
He's not on. He's what, 5 feet in the air?
5 feet in the air. Yep.
All right. I'm going to use my movement of my horse. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And attack with my shillelagh'd feather staff.
There you go.
AC 25.
Ooh, that'll hit.
For 12 points of damage.
It's coming in with the shillelagh. Adrian riding through, no hands, and just swipes underneath the belly, crashing him as he arrives for 12 points of damage. And he's struggling now.
He's still up.
Almost flipped him. He is still up, though.
I mean, I got to do it. Bonus action, Placow. I'm going to punch the dragon in the stomach. Take that.
Oh my god!
I mean,
As one does.
Like One Punch Man. Oh.
oh fuck!
I wanted that to be the killing shot there.
I did too, man. I did too. That would have been awesome.
Missed the fucking dragon. Instead of be thrown off by your horse, you lunge past the dragon, exposing yourself to attack. Oh no. The enemy you were attacking is able to use their reaction to perform an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It's all right.
So because he can't quite... Yeah, he's gonna use his bite to come down and attempt to grab onto you based on his height.
Okay.
Now that you're off balance, that is 13 to hit.
That is a miss.
Not able to do it. He is too wounded. He is just thrown off and wobbling right now. He can't get a focus on you to grab on. That's his reaction. Anything else for you, Adrian?
That'd be it.
Okay.
Ooh, I get an opportunity attack. Wait,
For reaction?
when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can
He
use
didn't
your
make an
reaction.
attack action. He used reaction.
Yeah.
And you already used your reaction this round anyway.
That's true too.
With Sentinel.
I did, thanks.
So, Garrett, I'm assuming I lost the rest of my movement for this round.
You didn't actually lose your movement though. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is another one. So you would still have your movement.
All right. So, and then I'm going to.
Now he is with. He's already used the reaction though, so that's within 5 feet. So yeah,
Well,
you have a free move.
I would use the mobility feat.
You have mobility anyways.
Yeah. 45, 50, 55, 60. And that was my turn.
All right. I'll see ya. He's wounded. He's wobbling. You're gonna want to put him out of his misery after he lit you up with some poison.
There you go.
That will hit.
You get sneak attack too.
Should already be.
Damn it.
20.
Okay, that's damage. It's damage.
20 points of damage.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the attack roll. That was the damn it.
Oh, nope. 20 points of damage. How do you want to do this?
There you go.
I killed it.
Killed it. Yeah. How do you describe the scene for me?
Oh, you know I can't describe with crap.
That's all right. Take a cut at it, and I'll polish her up. What do you want to do with this final shot? What are you aiming at? Aiming for the head?
Yeah. Right in the eye.
As you line up behind this bush, you see Amrook riding from behind. You see Griswold nearby, Adrian fleeing after he just attempted to punch the belly, missed, and the dragon came down and attempted to grip onto him. Taking an extra moment to line up your shot with your short bow, firing off in the distance towards his head. You see him rear back his head, preparing for his next attack as he looks like he's going to hit with another poison damage towards your direction, potentially wiping you, Siddle, and Griswold and Warwick all out in one. And as he expands his mouth to do so, your shot fires straight up through the roof of his mouth, up through the back of his head, and you can see the arrow just disappear off in the distance. It's in one clean shot, drops him, and you see his head actually drops first. But because you're looking, you can see the light come out of his eyes as his head drops, and his wings with one more furious beat as they collapse together temporarily causes it to jump a few feet off the ground before it comes down and poof, dust kicking in all directions. Adrian just or Amrook riding him down with a small drop at this point. His head falls directly at Griswold's feet, the tongue now sticking out over top of his boots. And the young green dragon is dead.
Nice. Good shit out there. Am I able to pull out one of his teeth?
You certainly can.
Do we want to go through that now or later? Because I'd like to harvest some scales as well. I do have my my tools, my leather working
I'll tell you
tools
what.
and proficiency.
It is 12:20 here, so do we want to do the harvesting and searching and everything then next time? We'll start with that.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to do, and I just want to make a note of it so that I remember, because if I don't, I'll forget. I'm going to use one of my shape change abilities and do a summon familiar. And I'm going to. What time of day is this?
So it is almost dusk. You guys have
Okay,
been on the road. You're near your spot of camping.
I am going
What are you going to do?
I'm going to summon an owl. And I'm going to have him scan the area to see if he can find where this dragon's lair may have been.
Yes. Thank
Which
you.
which would be like the forest would be, completely different looking. It would be either, like undergrowth or overgrowth, one of the two. But would just kind of look sickly versus the rest of the
Yep.
forest.
Okay, I've got a note of that for the start of next time then.
Good shit, guys.
Great session, guys. Looked nice. Even with the depleted spell slots and everything else, with only a short rest, taking down the young green dragon. Am I correct? That is the first group dragon kill of this campaign?
Of this one, yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh
think
my
so.
gosh.
Yeah.
First dragon kill under your belt you've negotiated thus far or scared away. So congratulations, guys. Young green dragon or not, depleted, that was impressive. With very limited people going down. So well done.
So my move, I either wanted to screw with the dragon, or my second thought was to levitate Amrook right above the dragon, just for the sole purpose of fucking with Amrook. That's it. That would have just to mess with you a little bit, you know.
That would have been amazing. As for screwing the dragon, that probably would have been a acrobatics check, depending on how much you wanted it.
Well, he would have wanted it. Let's be honest. It's me.
Pretty good. That would have been pretty good if you levitated Amrook off the dragon, though. I'll give you that one.
But I was worried that if they didn't kill him by the time it came up to the dragon's turn, he would just turn around. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, Amrook just dangling like a little piece of meat. I mean, he was bait at that point.
Swoops under and.
I mean, let's
Yeah,
be
well-
honest. We started this battle with me as bait. I ran in.
This is
I was
true.
the bait.
Well, I mean, Adrian, though, Adrian attempted to distract, and
I was
momentarily did so.
I was trying to be bait, but
It was a Jurassic Park situation with
Yeah.
two people trying to distract.
I like it.
I like it too. Session, gents.
These
Ladies.
legendary
We're
feet.
gonna go ahead and end there. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks for everyone for joining.